Okay, I'm hoping I can beat this storm. There are a lot of questions in my Facebook posts that I realized were kind of long, so I'm gonna do another really quick Q&A. So this is not gonna be a longer stream. Hopefully my internet will not crap out again because of the storm. So I'm going to actually, for this, I'm going to look up the answer to one of the questions that I have because I don't know the answer to this. Okay. So somebody asked me, number one, I don't know when the show is coming back, but I think it's January 2021, but because of COVID, I actually don't know. So that there's that. Also, I don't know if one of the actors was fired, so that's something I'm not sure of. I haven't heard anything. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the only actor that has left or been fired potentially was Ruby Rose from Batwoman, so I have no idea about a Charmed actress leaving. And from what I can tell, and what I'm Googling, I am not seeing anything about that either, so I don't know. I mean, we know that Shannon Doherty left as Prue. I don't think that this is the same thing. We're not going down the same road as that. So, in that retrospect, they don't really have a reason to, that I think the actresses get along. I don't think they have a reason to leave. But yeah, that was interesting. No, I don't see any actresses that have announced anything on Google as leaving. So no. The next question, somebody actually asked if I knew that Abigail was British. Yes, I did know that. She was also in an NTV series, if I remember that correctly. 1 second. I think her name is Poppy Drayton. The Shannara Chronicles, which I actually really enjoyed. So, yeah, I did know that she was British in real life. I've seen her interviews and I've heard her real voice. So, yes, I did know that. Another question was, do I think that Maggie will get back with Parker? No. Although I do think the actress is dating his actor in real life. I'm pretty certain that's who she's dating. But no, I don't think that they're going to get back together in real life. Or on the show, should I say. But then again, you know what, though? This is the CW. You never really know. There is a possibility that could happen. And also, do I think that Jada will return? I want Jada to come back. I said that in the previous stream. I would be ecstatic if Jada returned to the Charmed universe, because we really didn't get any closure on any of the girls that Mel has dated. Like Nico, she abandoned pretty much, and Nico thinks she's dead. Then we have Jada, who basically left before the final battle with the Source, because, all of the sisters of Arcana were killed in front of her by her mentor, Fiona. So she felt betrayed and scared, and Fiona tried to kill her. So she left. And so I get it. That was a very smart thing to do, but we don't know what happened to Jada. She's in the wind. Does she know that Mel's supposedly dead? I don't know. There's no closure there. So I would love to have closure for Jada. I would love to have closure for Nico. How's Kat doing now that she knows that she actually, isn't crazy? That she's just basically able to talk to the dead. I mean, are we going to get closure for that? I would love to know these things. I would really love to know that. Will we? Probably not. It's probably a lot of money and contracts, problems and time with other actors and maybe involved in other projects. They may not be able to bring some of them back. I mean, yeah, we got Parker back, but again, I think he's dating Maggie's actress in real life, so that probably wasn't a hard sell. But Nico, I think, is on another show. I don't know what Jada's actress is doing. I don't know what Kat's actress is doing. And now we have Ruby, who probably is about to share the same fate. So, no, I don't know if Jada will come back. I really would like for Jada to come back. How would you feel if they brought the actor for Cole back onto the show in some capacity? That would be awesome. Who would Julian play? Julian McNamara. Who would he play in Charmed? That is a really good question. I don't know who would he play. Maybe he'd be the first Warlock on the show because, as we pointed out before, there are none. No, I don't. I really don't know who he could be. I mean, they'd have to create a brand new character for him. He's really good at playing a villain. He's not bad at playing a good guy. He could be somebody on the spectrum. It would be very cool if he turned out to be Abigail's like uncle who helped raise her. That would be an interesting role. I'd love to see him and Abigail, which would further my connection about Abigail also being kind of like a counterpart for Cole as well as Parker is. I think that would be pretty cool. And him, being Abigail, and I guess it would have to be more of the witch side. It wouldn't be the demon side. So he wouldn't have any relationship with Cole since they share with Parker, since Parker and Abigail share a father and not a mother. So maybe the mother's sister, Abigail's mother's brother, which would make him a Warlock. He would be the first Warlock on. That would be a good way of introducing a Warlock into the show on Charmed. I'd be down for Julian McNamara to be a Warlock. Be a nice twist. Will Maggie's powers develop like Phoebe's did towards the end of the series, or will she lose her powers altogether? They've already lost their powers in season 2, so I kind of feel like maybe it would be a thing. Like if Phoebe lost her powers in OG Charm because of Daryl. Remember, they were going to kill Daryl. They went to the Tribune. They had like this big thing, and they found out she was using her powers for personal gain, and as punishment from her trying to see who her baby's daddy was. Basically, they took her powers. So yeah. That's why Phoebe lost her powers. But remember, in Charmed Reboot Season 2, they did lose powers. So, yeah. They've already gone through that road. Can she lose them again? Yeah, it's Charmed. But I don't foresee them doing that when they're building them back up. Let's see. Next question. I love that I got a lot of questions in Facebook, which is interesting. Like, people were messaging me instead of in YouTube, which is fine. I don't mind that. But I'm having to scroll down now to see these questions. Okay, so next question is, who do you think is the most powerful witch between Macy and Prue? Ooh. That's hard. So between Prue and Macy, I'm still going to stand by old school Prue. I love the reboot. I love the OG show. I am not one of these people that favors one or the other. But Prue just had a lot more character development and time to get her powers to where they are than Macy has. Because remember, we're still in season 2. But right now, I think if Prue were to face off against Macy, Macy would go down. Absolutely. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. It doesn't say a lot about this reboot of Charmed right now in terms of strength. But again, the OG Charm, their sisterhood was a lot stronger because the 3 girls, the original, Prue, Piper, and Phoebe, got to grow up together. Macy's more like Paige. So I think if their powers are tied to their emotions, they're not bonded enough for her to take on somebody on Prue's level. So yeah, Prue would probably beat the crap out of Macy at this point. Do you think that Mel will have more character development because they really shafted her? I said that exact word, shafted her in season 2, and I don't like what they're doing with her right now. I agree with you. I think that Mel is, let's be real, she has not had any character growth in season 2 whatsoever. She probably is the least developed character. There are villains that are more developed than her at this point. It's sad. I don't know why that is. She is the main character. She's a charmed one, but she's just the girl who is obsessed with being a witch and wants to redo the Book of Shadows, which they never revisited, and makes potions all the time. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think that she's going to get the same character development that her counterpart Piper has. To be honest, I don't know why. Macy and Maggie seem to be getting character development, but she's the Jan Brady of this sisterhood. Let's put it that way. What do you think of the girls' powers? I answered that in my live stream. I will do it again. I am not happy with Mel's Elsa, Human Torch, Firestorm powers. I'm okay with Macy's, because Macy pretty much got her powers with a boost. Like, she's able to do some molecular manipulation. Like, she's able to freeze things a little bit, which we saw in the episode where they were saving Mel and Abby in the club. Maggie is like, she's had such a range of powers. She went from an empath to slight telepath to just getting premonitions to now being able to emotionally force push her powers or her emotions on people. So she seems to be like the wild card. Her stuff's all over the place. I don't know where they're going to go power development wise for the girls next season. I don't know. I mean, they have to do something to up their game. I miss them casting spells and having like a villain of the week or a demon of the week. So I really hope that in season 3 we get that. But as for liking their powers, I mean, again, I don't like Mel's. I don't mind Maggie's, and Macy's pretty much the same. So I have a stagnant opinion on her. And then I have, do you think that they will ever leave Seattle now that they can't go to safe space? That is an interesting question. But I guess the problem would be, it's not if they would leave, it would be if their house would leave. Would their house take them somewhere else? Because remember, the house teleported to them. So I don't know. I guess the house would follow them, though. So if they decided to go somewhere else, but where would they go to get away from Julian and Vivian? I mean, where would they end up going? They can't go back. I think they're in Michigan. They can't go back to their college town. They can't. I mean, it's not safe for them in Seattle, but I mean, at least with the house, it's veiled, so they can't find them right now. But they do have magic detectors, so I don't know if that's true either. I don't know. I don't know where they would go, to be honest. Nowhere safe. I mean, they pretty much have people, from my understanding, Julian's organization is global, so I don't really know where the girls could go to be safe and to escape and to have a life without dealing with the problem, which is Julian and Vivian and the magical scientists. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to leave Seattle. I think the fight's going to stay there, and then whatever happens after that at the tail end of season 3 is their future. But right now we're stuck in the dealing with the Julian Vivian problem. So do you think all white lighters are dead, and do all white lighters have dark lighter counterparts? Well, I mean, if Celeste did it to Harry and to the lady in the mental ward that we met, that her name went right out of my head, then yeah, probably. There probably are a lot of dark lighters out there and white lighters that we haven't met yet. Or not really, since white lighters supposedly died that were still like linked to the elders. There shouldn't be. And then if you look at it that way, in retrospect, that would mean that their dark lighters are dead. But then we have Celeste, who was an elder, who's still alive, who basically left. And by her leaving the eldership, she didn't die with the rest of the elders. And by Harry disassociating himself and unlinking to the elders, he still retained his white lighter abilities, which is interesting, but is not tethered to the fate of the other white lighters. So there could be other white lighters out there that are doing the same thing, like Jada's daddy. I think Jada's daddy's probably our mama. I'm not really sure which one of the parents was a white lighter, but they could be alive. Jada's half white lighter. I'm pretty sure she's still alive. So yeah, I think there are other white lighters and potentially dark lighters out there that they probably should address in season 3. I mean, I really want the writers to be like hearing my thoughts and be like, please do this, because this would be so much better. Sisterhood, develop more characters, stop adding more people and flesh out the people you have, and expand the world so it's more understandable to us fans. Okay, and then I have, this is another interesting question. So the source is dead. Does that mean the Overlord is stronger than the source, or is the source an extension of the Overlord? I don't know. I think so, actually. That's a good question. I kind of feel like the Overlord and the source could be one and the same. I mean, who knows? Could be a general in the Source's army, because the Source is split up into little pieces right now at the end of season 1 and buried in other places. How do we know, though, that it's still, like, the Source is still buried? I mean, maybe the magical scientist found the pieces that the Charm ones hid. Who knows? But yeah, that would be interesting if the source and the overlord are the same. But they have to have a physical manifestation. Somebody would have to have, because the source is like, I guess, evil energy, or the source of magic or whatever, kind of like the black ember. So like, I don't know how that would work. That would be really interesting. What do you think about Ray this season and their dad? I love Ray. Ray is adorable, and Ray has every reason to be mad. Ray was cheated on. His wife had a baby with another man that he had to raise and accept, and he did. The only reason that he's flighty is because he's an archaeologist and he's passionate about his job. And so he would run off and do all that stuff. And so, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't have moments of being a deadbeat dad, but he loves his daughters. And Marisol was not one to judge, because she was the one that was wrong in that. So he knew his wife was in love with another man. That is messed up. So I love Ray. I love the chemistry he has with the actress who plays Mel. I love the talk he had with Maggie. I love Ray. Ray is awesome. I'd love to see more of Scotland, as I'm from Scotland. There's a lot of amazing mythology. Oh, are you from Scotland? My mother's from Scotland. I actually I'm a dual national. My mother's from a town called Cove Bay in Kincardshire, in Aberdeenshire. So yeah, I am half Scottish. So yay, another Scotsman. My mother's name is McGregor. So who knows? Maybe we're related. But yeah, I would love for them to go back to the Castle of Rire and see. I want to know more secrets too. Like, what else did they do there besides just make Darklighters? I mean, I don't think they just had an entire castle just for that one purpose. So there's probably a lot of shady stuff that went on that Celeste isn't telling them about in that castle. That would be interesting. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. This is another question I'm going to try and answer, and I don't know if I understand it completely, but I'm going to try. What is the source of Abigail's powers? Is it just witchcraft, or Alistair, her father, or is it a hybrid of the two? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think. This is not canon. I think it's basically not a hybrid. I just think she has both abilities. I think it's like Wyatt from OG Charmed, Piper being a charmed one and a witch, and the father being, a white lighter and an elder. That he had both white lighter abilities and witch abilities. Now, which is interesting. He had the whole telekinesis. He could teleport. He could do all of these crazy things because he was like a supercharged witch at this point, and white lighter hybrid. Paige is the same, a witch and a white lighter child, but it seemed like her powers did kind of morph together. So instead of her being able to move things with her mind, she could call them with her white lighter ability, which is interesting. And I never understood why. Maybe because Piper is a charmed one, that Wyatt got the more upcharged abilities. But Paige is technically a charmed one too. So I don't know why her powers are more merged together and Wyatt's were separate. But I think that's what's happening with Abigail. I think Abigail has witchcraft and she has demonic powers. Her demonic powers are not as strong as her witchcraft, though. That's my theory. I actually think that, like, you can tell when she took the fireball ability from Macy, and I know that this was a flub in filming. She was never able to just conjure a fireball. She could take the fire from like the candles on the wall or whatever. But in one episode, she actually conjured it. And that was pre her taking the fire power to Macy. And you never saw her do that again. So I don't know. I really think they're two separate powers, like power sets. The demon powers and the abilities that she got from her mother, because she's very good at potions, she's very good at witchcraft, and plus I think she's telekinetic on her, from her mother as well. Like we saw her stop the big tube thingy that Harry was in just by holding her hand out. So more than likely, that's what that is. So, yeah, I don't think they're merged. I think they're two different separate power sets. And then we have, is Julian really evil? I mean, so I said this in my other live stream that got cut off a little bit. I think Julian has the best of intentions, but he also is not blind to what's going on. So the fact that he knew that they were doing dirty stuff and he wasn't stopping his Aunt Vivian tells me that he has some darkness in him. The fact that he's okay sacrificing Macy to save his sister means he has darkness in him. No matter how hesitant, he has it. So I kind of feel like On some scope, yes, he is a little bit of a bad guy. Now, evil, maybe stretching it. Do I think Vivian's evil? Absolutely. Greedy, evil, all kinds. Scared. You know, we do a lot of crazy stuff out of fear. So, but there's something off about his aunt, because honestly, his aunt was so willing to believe him when he was a child about the White Lighter incident, when she should know nothing about magic. That tells me that she did know something, and something is very shady that maybe even Julian doesn't know. But I do not think that Julian is the reincarnation of the evil that killed the original Charm ones. I think his sister Rosemary is, who they're going to revive. So if we're really going to talk about evil, I think Rosemary's evil. I missed a lot because I thought the stream was over after it froze. Do you like Parker as a character, and do you want him to return? Mr. Hootie Dean, you did not miss a lot. I actually went back into the stream and did like a small segment because it froze because I'm having a storm here. So if it happens again, I am so sorry. So far, so good. We're having a lot of thunderstorms in our area, and it just, my Wi-Fi hates it. So, but do I like Parker as a character? Yes. I do. I feel sorry for him because he really did try to do the right thing. And yes, he has a dark nature. He is half demon. And I think that Maggie overreacted in how she talked to him. And I think that whole conversation where she's telling him they can't be together was just basically a segue into her getting with Jordan. And that's how they ended it. And that's the problem that I have. Like, I have a problem with her knowing who Parker was in the first season and saying, I'm going to be there for you. I know you're half demon. We're going to work this out, yada, yada, yada. And then he shows his little bit of his nature. He feels bad about it. He tries to redeem himself, and she just kind of scooters off. So I feel like that is messed up. And so I think Parker got a really crappy end of that deal. And again, he is dating the actress that plays Maggie in real life. So I'm sure, it's all good. But I don't know. I think that Parker was a very valuable character, and they missed an opportunity, and that kind of irritated me. So, yeah. I agree with you. Rose is the auntie. Absolutely. Actually, his aunt didn't believe him until they met Jimmy. She consoled him and said she believed him, but I think she assumed he was suffering from trauma. Now, but remember, Evard, in one of the conversations, though, when you showed the flashback of him talking to her, he actually says, I do believe you. And he said later on, when they were talking in the office, you were the only one who always believed me. So that tells me that she didn't, because normally as a parent, when your child's talking about seeing people teleport in and taking people away, you take that child to a child therapist, because something is wrong. She didn't do that. She let him keep that. If she thought of delusion, she let him keep on with that delusion into adulthood, and even, kind of like spearheaded it, and did go on the adventure with him to meet Jimmy. So she never was one to say, oh no, this is not true, but she just wanted proof. So to me, I look at it as she believed it, but wanted more concrete evidence. And Jimmy was the evidence that really was like, okay, all this time when you were saying this, and I was kind of doubtful, but I kind of tried to believe you was accurate. So, but I don't know. I feel like Vivian, there's something else about her. And I really hope in season 3 that they flesh it out, because there's something wrong with her. There's just something wrong with her. But no, like, I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go with Julian, honestly. Julian is such a complex character, because it's obvious he has a thing for Macy, and it's obvious Macy does not have a thing for him. So, and he needs to accept that fact first and foremost. That means to be like, she's not into you. You were used, buddy. But again, Julian is the brains behind the magical scientists. That's what I like calling them. And like, I feel like he knew a lot of the, shady stuff they had to do. So, hi Nicholas, welcome back. Sorry about that. Hopefully my question, this is the Q&A portion of our stream, so hopefully it will not cut off. Did I ever explain why they switched showrunners? To me, it was a mistake. Do you have a preference? Season 1 versus season 2, and why? I love season 1 more than season 2. Season 2 was a train wreck. I think one of the jokes I use, if we were on the Hogwarts Express, we've crashed 3 times before we even made it to Hogwarts, therefore killing the movie franchise. It was a train wreck. Like, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know where they were going. They did not have an insight to who these characters were. They didn't have an insight into what these people were supposed to be doing. They created an entire world that made no sense. Entire world of Whitney, and they didn't even have a way for these women to support themselves in this new world. You don't just go to another state or across country and not have any money and not have jobs lined up or anything, and not have a way of having an identity, killing them off in their old lives. It's just like, it's stupid. At least with the Charm ones, when they took on another identity, pretended to be their own cousins, that crap made sense. This makes no sense at all. I don't know how they afford all their fancy clothes. They obviously didn't have all those clothes in the first season. And I don't know how they eat or pay for anything. They don't have health insurance. They can't go to the doctor. I mean, yes, they have a healer, but still, I mean, white lighters can't cure things like cancer and stuff. So if one of them gets sick, they're screwed. There's nothing. They have nothing. So yeah, I do not like season 2, sorry. Did they ever explain why they switched showrunners though? No. And they probably won't. It's just like how Ruby Rose got fired or potentially left from Batwoman. We don't know if she got fired. A lot of people are saying she got fired because she didn't like the work hours and things like that. And she wasn't used to, heading a show of that nature. CW will never come out and say, this is why we got rid of the Charm showrunners. They won't ever say that. They should, so we could tell them that was stupid, but they won't ever do that. And it's so irritating because, the energy from season 1 is so lacking in season 2. Season 2 just was stupid. And I really need season 3 to, be a lot better than what we got in season 2. Maria, do you think that the reason Aunt Viv was so gung-ho about believing young Julian about the magic man was on the sole belief that they could possibly get the magic that was stripped from them? Oh, absolutely. I'm sure she wants to have that. But again, it's kind of like you're talking to a 10-year-old who just lost his mother and father and his sister's in a coma, and he's talking about the magical man. It's really weird, that she was just like, okay, even if you're pacifying a small child in that moment, at some point in their relationship, when he's talking about that, she should have been like, Julian, I'm tired of this disillusional crap. I'm getting you a therapist. You need to stop this immediately. And that doesn't occur. His whole life is motivated by finding these answers to these questions that he doesn't understand. And she goes along for the ride. So, it's weird. So I want to know what happened in her life. What encounters she had prior to that made her susceptible to the possibility that he was telling the truth. That's what I think they should do in season 3. But they probably won't, but they should. Let's see, their family line for going against the Wiccans or use it from himself again. I wonder though, it would be really weird if she was in some way related to Jordan's grandfather in some way, the witch hunters. Maybe she came from a line of magical creature or witch hunters. That would be an interesting twist too. Outside of Rosemary being the evil, because Rosemary's the evil. If Rosemary is not the evil, I'm going to send a complaint letter to the studios and be like, you're effing up, because this is the perfect opportunity to have a spin on something that is not completely obvious, a little obvious, but not as obvious as Julian being the evil. You basically told us he's the evil. So, that doesn't make any sense. So, unless you do my idea, which is Swan is the evil. Swan is the ultimate evil. And all those vegan brownies are actually not vegan brownies. CW doesn't have enough money for a child therapist. That's so true. I don't know what they have money for. They're spending all their CG money on Stargirl now. Stargirl, by the way, if you haven't checked that show out, very, very good. I loved it. I think also, somebody asked me this question, so I'm just going to go ahead and answer it. They asked me if I thought Celeste was shady. Yes. I think all elders are shady. I think you have to be shady. Even Marisol, their own mother, was shady. So, of course, to be an elder means to be shady. That is a requirement for being an elder, apparently. But I will go back to the whole warlock question that I answered earlier. Why are there no warlocks? I am racking my flipping brain here. I don't remember in season 1 or season 2 ever seeing a male witch. And I really feel like we all hate male witches, because in Motherland, Fort Salem, the male witches, they just make weapons and sleep around. It's like they use the male witches to get sex energy to fight. I don't understand the concept. It's almost like they're a brothel. So I don't understand. I don't know. I'm going by every episode that I remember watching in season 1 of the Charm reboot, all the way up to the finale in episode 19. And I don't think I've ever seen a male witch. Not mentioned, not. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I don't think so. I don't. And that's why the beginning of the stream, which you might have missed, I did mention, somebody asked me if I thought that the actor who played Cole, Julian McNamara, would come back for this season. And I said I would absolutely love it if he came back as Abigail's uncle on the mother's side. and he would be like the first warlock we got introduced to, because it would be a counter to what he played in the OG Charm as a half demon, half human. He would actually be a full-blown warlock who was actually the only person in Abigail's life that made her good. And I think that would be a very interesting role for him. And if I was a writer, that's how I would bring him in. He would be tied into Abigail, therefore ensuring we had Abigail, and also seeing more of her family on the mother side. And I think that would be an interesting thing. And he'd be very beneficial to helping the witches too, being a male warlock and being older and more experienced. So I think that would be cool. But I mean, not having any male, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember any of the elders being male ever in Charmed Reboot. Like, when we saw the elders, they look like all women. So I don't know if men were allowed to be elders. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know why there are no male witches. There should be warlocks. So that's my opinion on that. I like Julian as a character, but I am over Aunt Viv. To me, it's interesting as Charity and Fiona, which means not at all. Touche. I agree. Fiona was boring as heck to me in season 1. I know she was all powerful, but she was just like one note. She was just, I hate you all. You all put me in this Tartar's pit thing and left me there in the prison to rot away, and you betrayed me and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, no, the elders did that, but that's neither here nor there. But it was like, that whole thing was a mess. Charity was a mess. I hate that Fiona's actions drove Jada away, because I love Jada as a character. But yeah, I agree with you. That was a little. And Aunt Viv can go off to wherever Charity and you know, Fiona are now, which dead, limbo, prison, wherever they are, just take them. Wasn't Warlock evil in the original one because they believe men turn into evil with witchcraft powers? So said their grandmother. I don't think all of them. I thought we had a few good warlocks. I'm pretty sure we did. I mean, obviously we do now, because like Piper pushed 2 of them out. She had 2 boys. So, I mean, yeah, she had 2 boys. So she had Chris. She had Wyatt, Chris, and then Melinda. And then the comic books, the comic book series for Charm was interesting because like for something happened and like the powers all swapped. So like, if you had powers, you were human. If you were human, you had powers. So Paige's husband ended up getting abilities, which is completely insane. But he was basically a warlock. But I do know that now you have to understand that the grandmother in OG Charmed hated men because she was jaded by men. And so some stuff happened to her. She was not into men. That's why she hated Leo. She didn't want the girls to hook up with anybody. She thought men were trash. So that was her perception and perspective. I don't know if that expanded into all of the magical world. So... yes, Max Franklin was definitely one I remember. I don't remember Mitchell Haynes, but I'll have to go back. But yeah, Ben and Richard Montana, of course, Wyatt and Chris. Yeah. So yeah, I think all that was from the grandmothers. That was her pushing her perception on what men were onto her granddaughters. I just listed a few of the good ones from the original Charm. Yes, you did, Nicholas. Then Macy and Maggie will be hybrid. Huh. I guess so. I can see it. Well, like that was like a question that got asked earlier about Abigail's powers, if I thought they were hybrid powers. I'm like, no. It was interesting. If you look at OG Charmed, which I hate comparing this show to that because it's not the same show, Paige's like white lighter abilities and witchcraft abilities merged. So when she would call for something, it would be the white lighter, you know, like if she's like Cup, the white lighter, you know, effect they would use would be in play. So hers merged. But Wyatt's separated. So, like, he had white lighter ability, but he also had a lot of witch abilities, too. Or warlock abilities. So, like, it's really interesting that Paige being a charm one was not just as strong as her nephews were. You know what I mean? Like, Wyatt was much more powerful than all the charm ones in a way. So, I don't know. It was interesting that a white lighter and a charm one's baby was more powerful than the mother of a white lighter and her lover, the mother of the charm ones and the white lighter that she slept with. So I think Paige's father's name was Sam. So yeah, because I mean Penny was very strong. She had the same powers as Piper. So like I don't know why their powers, them making a baby, their baby's powers merged as a charm one, but yet Wyatt's were not. That's very strange. I don't know, but whatever. Like you know, I just kind of roll with it here. Let's see. Mitchell was Paige's protege. Yeah, he was protege. And he was he sure as heck was. Okay, yes. Yes. Thank you for that, Abby, because I forgot all about that. I saw the name Daryl. I really wish they had somebody that was the Daryl of the group. I guess that could be Jordan. Is that what they're doing with Jordan? I didn't think about that. Maybe Jordan is the new Daryl. Only this time, instead of him having a wife and kid of his own and a life outside of that, he's all in with Maggie and them. Okay, I could see that, actually. That would be an interesting, I guess if he's going to be Daryl, that would be interesting. Mel honestly needs some character development. That doesn't involve a relationship. Last time I connected with Mel was in season 1. I know. They are shafting her. I don't know what it is, honestly. I mean, I know it's not a queer thing. I'm queer, but I know it's not a thing about her queerness because they actually are showing that. But it's like outside of her being queer, she's not a real person. It's like, okay, her thing is she's the lesbian of the group. So that's all she needs to do. Be power hungry for being a witch and wanting to be a witch and have witch pride and then have pride in being gay. And there's nothing else. And I'm like, that is so stupid. There's so much more to that girl. But we don't know it because we're too busy with Macy and Maggie stories all the time. Maggie is just turning 21 years old. She hasn't lived enough to have that much character growth. I'm being real. Her character growth should start in the seasons. We should see her develop. Like when Phoebe came back, Phoebe went from having no ambition to ended up being having a psychology degree and a famous relationship, advice columnist. That's the stuff we needed to happen with Maggie. But no, Maggie's getting all of this character arcs and growth at 20 to 21. And here we got her older sister who's getting shafted. The last time we actually saw major character development from her was the scene that I always mention with Macy, which I think probably irritated me and showed me that Macy was a little catty, is when she found out that Maggie was her whole sister and Mel and Maggie were only half sisters. And if you go back and revisit that scene, you'll see what I mean. Because she sat out there and the way she told them was like, that means me and you are whole sisters, Al, and you're only half. It was almost like, screw you, Mel, you're not important. She is the Jan Brady of this group. That's what she is. This was the Bradys. Macy is Marsha. Maggie is Cindy. And then we have Jan. And that is Mel. Let's see. CH potential for season 3. To me, the Charmed ones have a great support system to fight evil. I would love it if they work full time with Ray, Parker, Abigail as Mel's boo. And Jordan and Lucy. That is my dream. I think that would be awesome for season 3. I would be all in. My season 3 reviews coming up, guys, in January are going to be interesting because if I don't like them, you're going to know it. But if they start playing to some of the stuff that we like, and I'm not saying they have to do what we like, but like something that makes more sense and there's more of a sisterhood bond and the characters included make sense in their lives, we're going to have some awesome times discussing this show. Who is your favorite sister in OG and Reboot? So my favorite in the OG series is Prue. I love Prue. I miss Prue. Prue is awesome. And my favorite in the Reboot is Mel. And that's why it's so hard for me because I love Mel. I feel like I am Mel. And that's just, it bothers me that if I was in this series, I would be shafted. like, you get no character growth. You get nothing. Just sit there, go find this girl pretty, and shut up. Wyatt's was stronger due to the fact of projection and was born on the day of no magic. I forgot about that. Thank you, Nicholas. Which completely stripped the charmed ones and every other magical creatures except for demons. Okay, I'll accept that. I will accept that. But I think it's interesting, though, that his powers were not morphed a little bit like Paige. You know how in Paige, her white lighter abilities and her charmed abilities were so intertwined, except for her teleportation part, that it was almost like she had one power set. But yeah, Wyatt, all of these cool abilities, he could like project things out of books, he could teleport. I mean, he was cool. He could make force fields, even in the womb. That kid was awesome. Let's see. I was hoping to see some of the Charmed comic characters and creatures in season 3. That would be awesome. That really would. I don't know how they would pull that off. I would love for them to bring Prue back when she meets Paige for the first time in the comics. I do remember that. I don't know how they would pull that off, though, honestly. It would be awesome. But I don't think Shannon Doherty is going to come back, honestly. If they're visiting the idea of doing Netflix movies for the OG Charmed. That's something they've been talking heavily about. And I don't know how close they are to that being fruition, if it's actually going to happen. But if they did manage to implement that, I don't know how Phoebe's actress and Shannon, Doherty, Prue's actress, would still be in the same scope or be able to film together since they didn't like each other. And I think that that's one of the reasons that Shannon Doherty left as Prue. So I don't know how that would work. So, and then you'd have 4 sisters. Why would you need Paige if you had Prue? So I don't know how that would work unless they are going to do a movie adaptation of the comics. And then I could see that happening. Yes, Prue is the best, and Mel is my favorite in the reboot, which is why I hate what they're doing to her. We are on the same page. I mean, it's disgusting. And if I don't see some improvement in season 3, I'm calling BS and I'm writing some letters. Even demons didn't have power when Wyatt was born. Yeah, that's true. I know, it's almost like if you ever watch the movie Superman Returns, right? And like he got rid of his Kryptonian DNA and then he got with Lois and then apparently got her pregnant, but yet the baby still came out as a Kryptonian. It's like, wow, you're still powerful even without that Kryptonian DNA in that moment. So I always thought Wyatt was like an anomaly. But like, you know, with Paige, I mean, Paige's mother was a time witch. She was a time witch. She was just like Piper, and like the father, Sam, was a white lighter. So like you would think that she'd have like amazing skills. I'm not saying Paige did not have cool powers. It's just that they kind of dumbed her down a little bit. Like it was like, yeah, I can call for this with my mind and then project it over there, which is cool. But it's like they made her power sets more white lighter focused with minimal witch, because she was more of a white lighter. Like she even had charges by the end of the season than she was a charm one, which I thought was interesting. But that might have been my perspective. I mean, other people could have saw that differently, but yeah. Why is Mel being simply there for her sisters this season, not considered character development? I mean, thoughtful. Season 2, she has to be a rock for her sisters. I kind of like that. Now, Robert, I do agree with that. Her being there was one thing, but let's be real. In season 2, when you say being there, the other sisters would have had to have been near her, because all they did in season 2 for most of the season was work apart. Macy did her thing. And then you have Maggie going off and doing her thing. And then Mel was in there learning to make potions. I mean, that's basically, they were so separated that I cannot completely accept that, because they weren't together to begin with. If they had gone into it as sisters, and then it was just her being the moral rock and then, you know, the one that held the glue together. Like if you watch Motherland, Fort Salem, I know I'm going back to that, but witchcraft. Tally was the glue that held Raelle and Abigail together. If Mel had that role, I'm down with that. But she didn't. All these sisters did in this season was their own thing. So like, it's hard when your own thing is just like, I wonder what this potion does. I wonder if I can make this potion. I really want my powers back. I really want it. Oh, I'm also sleeping with this girl that I met because, you know, why not? Even though I just said that relationships aren't worth getting into because they're dangerous and they occupy your time from being a charmed one. But I'm going to do this anyway. And that's literally, she was so one note that it was annoying. They could have done a lot more with her characters like they did with Macy and like they did with Maggie. So that is my problem with Mel. So much opportunity, so much that they could do with this character, and they're not, and it's irritating. So that's how I feel about that. Let's see. Shannon and Alyssa made amends, but now Rose hates Alyssa, so I don't know how that will work unless the sisters are secondary characters to the next generation. Honestly, it would be better if they just focused on their children. And have Wyatt, Chris, and Melinda be the new charm ones. I think that would be awesome. Well, Chris's powers were more because he's shown the most like Paige. And what made it more interesting was the fact that he was acting like Prue, and yet none of the sisters put it together. Yeah, he was, actually. He's a lot like his Aunt Prue. I like all the characters, but I feel none of the characters grew or changed this season. Maggie regressed to someone she wasn't in season 1, and Macy pretty much dropped all her science background. Not all. She did use some of her science to try to figure out how to separate Harry. So she does go back to that, but I do agree that the way she was in season 1, where she questioned everything and she found like scientific ways of making things, like when she mixed the salt together that time with the acid to make that the concoction they threw at the demon. Yeah, I do miss that aspect because it made her stand out from any of the OGs, you know, charmed people, because she was more like, not only am I going to make a concoction, I'm going to do it with my science brain. I'm going to go and find these chemicals that react to this demon's skin and do it. That was very cool. I love that about Macy, but they made Macy more emo, and that's the problem. So she was more focused on what she didn't have than what she did have. And I just didn't like her as much, you know, in season 2 as I did. I started to like her in season 1, but Macy is not my favorite character. She's still a little too, she's beautiful, but she's still too caught up on the fact that she was abandoned by the mother, and she takes it out on Mel. Not Maggie. She takes it out on Mel a lot. So it's like a little irritating. Okay, maybe you already answered this, but what do you think of Mel and Maggie's new powers, and Macy still has telekinesis? Honestly, I want their old powers back because Mel was a badass with time power. I know. I hate her Elsa powers and her Human Torch powers. It's stupid. It's just stupid. I don't like it. I want them to do something. I mean, that girl can't even, like, she's not even like a fire, like, she can't even use her stuff as like a fire thrower or a fire, what do you call it? Flamethrower? Like, if she could launch fireballs at people, that would be cool. But she's like, no, I'm going to heat this up and heat that. No, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. That is my opinion. I do not like Mel's powers. I just don't. She is not Elsa. She's not singing Let It Go. No, that's not what she's doing. They need to do something cooler for her. I mean, Macy kept her power, which is still... Now, some people told me the reason they think that the reason Macy kept her powers is because she drunk from the chalice and the other two girls just touched the black amber in the command center. That's probably true. Because they got like pure, you know, whatever, unfiltered black amber versus Macy, who actually did it the right way. So I guess if they'd all drunk from the chalice, they would have got their original powers back too. But Macy still got an upgrade. So I don't know. But I don't like it. And Maggie's powers are the wild card. She's all over the place. She's an empath. She's a telepath. She can do premonitions. Now she can force push emotion. I mean, she has so much progression, not even character development, but power progression. She's probably one of the most developed characters in this whole flipping series. And she's the youngest. And so it's really, really weird. Do you think we are ever going to see an adaptation of Tyler Michaels? Because from the comics, he has a boyfriend. Probably. Maybe. I mean, CW's not afraid to get into, you know, LGBT land. So we know that that is possible. I wonder how that would interact with Mel since she is a Piper counterpart. That would be interesting. Maybe she'd have more character development. Let's see. Paige's powers were varied because of hybrid, weak because she was the youngest, and the calling for objects to teleport was cool. I even called for things around my house, but to no avail. Yeah, I would love to call for stuff like winning lottery ticket. I wonder if they will create the Book of Shadows again, because it has never been mentioned again. I know. I mentioned this in my last one. I hate Mel's purpose. She's like, I'm going to recreate the Book of Shadows by herself, because apparently she's the only one that remembers anything. And like, that was it. We never saw anything again. I'm like, is that it? I don't understand. Like, we got like a little snippet of the Book of Shadows potentially coming back, but now we don't care about it anymore because we got the power back and the charm powers back, so we don't need it. Are we never going to have like the demons of the week and need spells? It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know. The writing on this suffered so much because there's just too many hands in the pot. That's what it is. They needed to have two central writers and let's left these two writers to do everything. And it should have been the writer who did like episode 15. And then left the other people that just should have been fired. So this is what it should have happened. But that's just me. I hate molecular power also. Yeah. I can see that. I just... So wasted, guys. It's just so... Mel is so wasted. She's just Jan Brady. That's my new joke for her now. She's Jan Brady. If Mel had like a whole movement when she's teaching a young witch, I would love that. Yeah. I mean... I feel bad. Her career is just gone. She went from being not really a professor, she's an adjunct professor in women's studies, to being a bartender. And bartenders have important jobs. I'm not trying to downplay that. I mean, a lot of people use bartenders as therapists. You know, they do. They're very social people. So I guess if she had to have a career, that is a very good one. Plus, it plays off of Piper running a bar, you know, so it kind of keeps her in line with that. Instead of owning the bar, she's working at the bar. So, yeah. She's like, I guess Mel is the poor man's Piper. But I don't know. I feel like she's so smart. They should just really play up her strengths like they do with Macy and Maggie. But, you know, whatever. Let's see. Maybe the Book of Shadows will come back at the very end of the show. You guys just watch. Yeah, probably. Well, I think they need to resolve all this mess with Julian and Vivian, and they should realize that Rosemary is actually the evil that they're looking for, and that Swan is the evil overall. Like, I'm not letting Swan go, guys. But I think once they resolve all the crap that we got in season 2, maybe we can move forward and have monsters of the week and get back to what we're used to in Charmed. Even in season 1, where every week there's a different demon or different. No, they're not even balancing the magical world right now because they're too busy trying to fight for it. And it really made me feel in season 2 like all the magical creatures are dead. Like all of the ones that they met in season 1 are dead. Like nobody's alive. They're just dead. And that is such a weird thing. The only thing I liked about season 2, besides the introduction of like Abigail and Jordan, because I do like the characters, is the fact that they got to teleport to different places. Like, instead of it just being their one town that was affected, it's the whole world, and they're fighting on a global level and not just their hometown. I did like that. But outside of that, no. Let's see. Yes, the Book of Shadows being destroyed was a slap in the face to Marisol. It was given to them as their legacy and heritage. I hope it's fine, and maybe a demon has it. Maybe they get it back in season 3. That'd be interesting if it wasn't actually destroyed and teleported somewhere. That would be very cool. That would be extremely cool, actually. Let's see here. I hope to see male witches. Yes, I hope to see warlocks too. Well, they need to. Like I said, I'm on board for Cole's actor, Julian McNamara, or however I just said it earlier, for him to come back and be Abigail's uncle. On her mother's side, and be a full-fledged warlock who comes into their lives and ends up helping the Charmed ones. I think that would be very cool. What characters from season 1 would you want to return? For me, it would be Lucy, the necromancer, and Parker full-time. Lucy was cool. I really want closure, people. I want Nico and I want Jada to come back and get closure, because right now Nico thinks that Mel and the girls are dead, and that's horrible. That's messed up. And like, honestly, I don't know how she would ever forgive Mel if she like saw her outside, she just saw her walking around in real life and were like, Mel, I thought you've been dead all this time. That would be horrible. So I want closure for that. And I also feel like maybe, of course, Jada, I want to come back. I want us to learn more about who Jada's parents are. You can't just dangle the half white light or half witch in front of us and then not resolve it. This is crazy. I want Parker to come back. I want Maggie to apologize to Parker for basically blowing him off when he was, everything he really did, especially near the end, was for her. And she was so unappreciative that it kind of made me angry, because it was hypocritical of her to expect a half demon not to have half demon tendencies. You knew who he was going in. You accepted it in season 1 till he decided to go and try and stop his demon side, which you got upset about. And then he actually does that. And then, yes, he has a moment of weakness, which was kind of spurred by, our wonderful Abigail and her cohorts. But outside of that, he did the right thing in the end, and he still got shit for it. He even gave up his powers for her, and it didn't matter. And so, yeah, I think Parker deserved more. That's how I feel. And I think Maggie was way too judgmental, but Maggie's a very judgmental character. She just is. I'm sorry, she is. I don't dislike Maggie, but she's judgmental as hell. So, let's see. I wonder how Maggie's foresight will develop. I wonder if she still has foresight. Does she get to keep that now that she has the force push empathy? She probably does. I'm pretty sure she does, but I don't know. Because that's what happened with Phoebe. Her stuff revolved to that point. She seems to be getting it all at one time. Empath ability, foresight's back, and now this, force push of emotion, power. Like, I don't know. Who knows what she'll have next time. For an inactive power, she seems to have a lot of, really cool, active abilities. Let's put it that way. Maria, I feel that the lovable Swan will end up being either Elise Rothman character, given how close she is to Maggie. And we all know what happened to her. Or she could potentially be the seer. Ooh. Wouldn't that be crazy if she was the seer? Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I would accept that, actually. There was another character, though, remember? And I can't remember. It was a female warrior that fought on the spirit realm in an episode. And her grandfather, I think it was, gets killed. And she ends up becoming, like, the guardian of, like, this realm. It would be cool if she was that character. Let's see. Nico. Yes. Jada can stay gone. Lavella, she was the worst. But yes, bring back Nico. Mel's true love. Also bring back Lucy. She provided so much comedic relief. Lucy did. Lucy was hilarious. I like Jada. I think, see, the problem that I have with the Vera sisters is that they cheat. They have no problem cheating. And they also are not really good with relationships. They get that from their mother. So, yeah, like Jada and the Sister Arcana, actually, she was not like evil. She really believed in what Fiona was doing. She really believed that the elders were crap. And they were. The elders were crap. They were doing horrible flipping things. And so both of them were wrong and right at the same time, both groups. But she was always there to help, you know, Mel. Mel was the one that was kind of wishy-washy with her. And she was the one that warned them, you know, you guys need to get away from this. Source is coming. You need to run. And Fiona tried to kill her and she teleported out. So I did not have a problem with her, even when she was like messing with the people that were trying to drug and rape girls in the club, because she was going after people that were bad. She was not going after good people. I didn't have a problem with that. Yes, I preferred Nico. That was her end game in my heart. I do like her with Abigail though. Mel and Abigail, to me, have a chemistry. They have something. It's a very interesting relationship, and I would love to see if they developed it, where that would go, because it would be hilarious. Because Abigail's wit, and you know, she's such a smart ass. I mean, it would be hilarious. Yeah, I didn't mind Jada too much. I kind of minded, yeah, the whole thing with Ruby, because Ruby she's not a bad character. I like her, but she's more like, I don't want this life. And if you don't like this life, that already tells you, if you don't like this life, you already are doomed to be in a relationship with somebody who is into the life. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I love you, but you have to stop being a cop, or you can't do this, or you can't be a doctor because you're away, or don't be in the military. I don't like this. You will not successfully make that work if you are not, from the beginning, okay with the other person being the opposite of what you are. So Ruby is not a good character to me. Well, at least not a good match for Mel. Good character, not a good match for Mel. Don't really know much else about her because we didn't know she was a witch until that episode. So, yeah, that's kind of messed up. What do you think about the Charman's Abigail derangement syndrome? I love Abigail. They need to leave Abigail alone, guys. That woman has done more for them than Harry has the whole season. And that's just the truth. She's done more. That woman didn't have to help them, ever. She did. When they came to Abigail, when they treated her like trash, she didn't need to do a flipping thing ever to any of them. She could have got her crap, moved on, put a magical barrier on their apartment so they couldn't teleport in, told Harry to go take a flying leap. She literally did not have to help them, period. And she always did. And honestly, yes, she did some shady things. And as I said in some of my earlier reviews, she did some trashy things. But by the end of that season, Abigail was pretty much Harry. She was more helpful than their damn white lighter. So they need to leave Abigail alone. Do you think we will see an adaptation of Billie and Christy? Please, no. 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 And if we do, I'm still saying no. I won't even add them to my review. No. Yes, Onling, thank you, the Zen Master. Yes, it would be cool if that's who Swan turned out to be. Jada was pretty supportive. Heck, even Jada got some character development with her family. Yes, she did. Absolutely. Poor Mel. Where is Maggie's staff and Mel's curved knives from season 1? I don't know. I mean, I just assumed that when they lost their charmed abilities, they couldn't summon them anymore, but they were gifts from their mother. So, I mean, you would think that they would still be in that room in the book, behind the bookcase from the Nook. The Nook. And I think that led to the chamber that they used to go to. Like, I haven't seen them really go to that chamber either, you know, in the house. So, I don't know. It's like the writers forgot all that. They didn't watch season 1, so that's why we don't have any of that stuff. We're going to call them, it's in the space in the plot hole universe, the fourth wall. Let's see here. I wish they could explore the effects of the constant cheating on characters. Yes, all of them do it. All of them are cheating. I don't get it. Like the Vera sisters and Miss Vaughn are cheaters. They are so much like their mother. And it's so crazy because when somebody does something to them, it's like, oh, how could you do this to me? Oh, I'm like, really? Are we watching the same show? Like, no, they cheat a lot. That is one of the undertones of this show, is that it's okay to cheat if you're a charmed one. So what I took from that. Let's see here. Abigail versus Lucy. That bro will fight I need. My money is on Lucy. My money's on Lucy too. Girl doesn't play and she snapped her finger. I really think Lucy, but I mean, I wouldn't know how they would bring Lucy back. She was very instrumental in season 1, but I don't know what they would do with her in season 2, honestly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they would bring her back. I mean, I'm not against it. I just don't know. Like, I could see Lucy having like an internship at Safe Space and running into Maggie. That would be interesting. But outside of that, I mean, she's just a tie-in to their own life. So I don't know if they would ever bring her back, but it's sad. They should. Let's see. Yes, Abigail was more. I mean, Harry did like what? Whine about Macy, make out, tongue tie with Abigail, whine about his past, whine about his family, whine about his dark lighter self not being whole. They were just more supportive to Harry than Harry was to them this season. It was ridiculous. So this whole claim of him, I need to have my memories or my feelings for your sister actually taken away so I can be more effective as a white lighter. No, dude, you just need to be a better effective freaking white lighter. That's what you need to do. Work on that. You can still be in a relationship with Macy. Just work on actually being an effective white lighter. And then we'll be good. When they separated Harry from his dark lighter, I thought that they would do the same with Macy and her demon side, but now I'm hoping they will do it with Abigail and have a full-on Abigail villain. That would be wow. An Abigail that doesn't give a crap would be really scary, because the only thing that saved me most of the time, even when she was doing shady stuff, was the fact that she still had her mom's side and had a conscience. So yeah, just like if you really think about it, if she really hated her brother Parker for getting everything and her being shafted as a female, she would have killed Parker. She wouldn't have put him in a prison. She just would have killed him. She wouldn't have hidden him downstairs where him being discovered would likely end her and seeing her as a traitor. But she did not kill her brother. That's why I'm saying she's not completely evil because of that. And the Charman should have seen that, because she could have just offed him. It would have solved so many of her problems if she just killed him, and she didn't do it. So yeah, she gets shafted like Mel. That's why her and Mel are soulmates, because they're both shafted in this show. Abigail, I like that. Maybe Lucy graduated Hilton College and moves to Seattle and gets a job at Safe Space. Yeah, but now they can't go to Safe Space, so the likelihood of her seeing Maggie is going to be very slim, and which means that they're not going to be able to eat anymore because there's no money. And Maggie's the only one working. So unless Jordan helps them out, but he doesn't seem to be rolling in dough either. So I wonder if we'll see more of Jordan's family in season 3, like the grandmother he's supposed to be taking care of that he hardly sees because he's always with the charm ones now. I mean, you know what I mean? Those are the plot holes I love. Let's see. Maybe Lucy becomes magical after being Uncle Alistair's dark magic. That could be a way to bring her back. Yeah, she could be a villain. She could be Swan. Maybe Swan shapeshifted, and so she's actually Lucy. That would be hilarious. I'm just saying that since the demons are split into the hierarchy, I wouldn't be surprised to see a witch on the demon side, like a raised and manipulated weapon ready to strike. Oh yeah, I'm sure. That really could be Rosemary. That could be the ultimate evil that, killed the original charm ones. I mean, quite frankly, I already know that if something happens, the one that's going to die is going to be Macy. I mean, it's going to be Mel. Mel's already the expendable sister, so I'm already like, you better not. Like the series finale of this show, when they decide not to do any more seasons, it better not be in the last battle Mel that dies, because I'm going to be very mad. I want more scenes with Parker and Abigail. I do too. I want to see them connect as brother and sister. And when they do, honestly, guys, I will be angry that they got together and were bonded more as siblings than our girls are. I'm like, really? Is everybody get to be a family but you guys? But yeah, I would love to see Abigail, and I would love to see, Parker work their stuff out, because they're both orphans. Their father's dead. Parker's mother's dead. I don't know if Abigail's mother's dead. I think she is. But I also would love it to have Cole's actor, Julian, come in as the uncle of Abigail and show that side more. And that's how Abigail, because maybe he was in her life and was the one that she could actually go to, because her mother was scared of her demon side. So maybe that uncle was the one, or is the reason that she's actually got her humanity as well. And I think that would be a really good way of bringing Warlocks in, a really good way of having like some kind of backstory more and character development more for Abigail, and also a key into Parker coming into her life. Maybe he says, hey, you don't have a lot of family, you need to accept, this boy. Now they do have another brother, and I forgot his name. I don't know why. It went out of my head. The other one that's pretty evil, that's full demon. Hunter? Is his name Hunter? I think his name was Hunter. I wonder what's going to happen with that. But is he, I mean, I think he's vanquished, but then again, this is charmed. We don't know that. So he may be running around somewhere in the like underworld or whatever, rising to power. He could be behind a lot of stuff too. You never know. So yeah, we all forgot about the other brother who could be very significant in this plot, especially if the writing was done well. So his sister is supposed to die, but didn't Macy already die? So they don't really have to worry about it, right? Well, no, technically the sisters died in a battle. So they haven't had a big charm battle yet versus, you know, right now it's really the charm ones versus humanity. Like, not just the demon world, it's like the magical world versus the human world. So I don't really know how that's going to play out. And that's a good way of a sister dying too. So, I don't know. Okay, what do you think of Safe Space in general? I'm not a fan. It didn't add much except Jordan. I feel like it's a way for them to get drunk and get free coffee. It's like the Google place, like the Google headquarters. Yeah, it was unnecessary on many accounts, but it gave them some other place to be outside of their house. So that's really it. I mean, did we really see them go anywhere besides when they were doing a mission or something? We didn't see them have lives. Like, none of them were like really going anywhere except Macy. I think she went to Colorado, but that was just another house. So I mean, no restaurants, really. Not really. I mean, she stood Julian up, so they really don't have a life outside of Safe Space and the Charm ones in the command center and their house. So gave them somewhere to go, but outside of that, yeah, it's pretty useless. I'm kind of surprised that Parker is straight up human now, since Maggie and Mel have been stressing this man out about his demon side. I know, right? Especially since Maggie does not understand, and he even says, I have a target on my back now because now all these people in the demon world are coming after me and I don't have any powers. And she's like, oh well, you were bad. We can't be together. Good luck with your life. She just basically told this guy to go die. Like, so messed up. That's so messed up. Let's see. I'm kind of... Yes, Hunter Kane. Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, I thought it was Hunter. I just wasn't sure. Apocalypse the Destroyer Reloaded. Yep. Does Abby still have feelings for Harry? Not that I want them together. Just think that could be one of the charm difficulties if they decided to go on the Mel and the Abby route. I don't actually know if Abby had like real like love feelings. I think she was infatuated with somebody who she thought she could relate to. They're both British. They're both magical, and they both are the side characters in this series. So she just kind of bonded with him. Plus, she got in his head, so she got to see more about him and saw that he also had a dark side. So I think that appealed to her too. I think the biggest thing between Mel and Abigail is that Abigail still does have a demon side, and so that's going to be the thing. And plus, Mel can be a little judgmental too. So, you know, that's what they need to work on. But I mean, from the bar scene, the way they're talked and the way like Mel was like looking for Abigail and she just left, you know, she moved out and she's like, oh, I was hoping she'd stick around and we rub off on her. And she's like, no, I'm like, no, you were hoping she sticked around and you rubbed up on her, you know, but yeah, I think that they really could be, honestly, a really good couple, but it's going to be a struggle. I think their struggle is going to be a lot more believable than Harry and Macy's. So their obstacles are more self-imposed. Like Mel and Abigail would actually have true like character differences, like personality differences, but still want to be together. It's almost like there's this little obscure show that I watched called Carmilla. It's a web series by Kind TV. I'll link it at the bottom, and it's almost like the main character Laura as Mel versus Carmilla, the vampire that she's in love with, and how, you know, the vampire is not used to self-sacrifice and, you know, being human, and, you know, Laura is like this person that wants to save everyone, and it's such a Mel-Abigail relationship. They're very close, actually. I think when you start watching it, you'll see what I mean, especially like towards the end of season 1 into season 3, because there's 3 seasons. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, I really dig that this whole couple like ship. And I'm really hoping they do it because it would actually bring out more character development for both of these characters, especially Mel, who desperately needs it. So, yeah. Let's see. He was also Hunter was vanquished by Maggie. Okay, but again, this is Charmed, and we really don't know where they go when they're vanquished. Do they die or do they go back to the underworld? What happens when they're vanquished? I really want to know because remember there are episodes of OG Charm where demons came back all the time. So. He may not be gone. Um, Hunter was a good bad guy. I dig if he had some gay character development. Yeah, they need to have more like, because like even on Roswell, New Mexico, we had Malex, but now we're back to Michael and Maria, which were canon in the books for Roswell, and in the OG TV series. But yeah, Malex had like a really cool, like there was something about those two characters that were very believable as two guys that loved each other but were having like star-crossed issues. So I mean, they seem to get rid of those coupledoms very quickly, which is sad. Not to say they don't do that with lesbians, because I mean, I'm not over Clexa. If you watch the 100, you know what I mean. But yeah, it would be cool if they actually got a little romance going with the two guys. We haven't seen that in this universe. But again, Charm Reboot is very pro-women. We've already established that there are no male witches. So, I mean, it's going to be a while before we see two men in a relationship when there aren't a lot of men for that. It almost feels like Jordan right now and Ray are the only two men in the whole show. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in the astral realm and going through what Cole did on the Power to Binge. Yeah, to binge to the point where his blood is acidic. I think that would be cool. I wonder if there is another astral realm for, you know, they have an astral realm or astral plane, and they have like the underworld astral realm, like Cole's. I mean, I think they would have to. This magical world is very expanded. So, I mean, they have to go somewhere when they die. I don't know. I mean, they go to hell. Isn't that just the same? I mean, if a demon goes to hell, aren't they really just home? I mean, I don't know. I'm just really confused. Let's see here. I did read the one about Abby clips her toenails in the dude's mouth. I don't know what that's about. So I'm like, I don't know anything about that. We're writing a better show in this stream than this showrunner did this season. Yeah, that normally happens. Let's see. Okay. At Evard McIntosh, the actor who played Hunter, was on the Netflix show with RuPaul and did a nude scene. And wow. Oh, really? Check that out. I really need to catch up on my stuff. Like I love doing my reviews. It's just with my job, because I split. I'm a development coordinator. I work in fundraising. I'm raising money a lot, and with COVID, we're working from home, so it's been very stressful. And then I'm also technically full to part-time voice actor. So I just did a small like voice in this game called Cepheus Protocol. It's on Steam right now, where I play like 3 of the commanders, but they're just like the basic soldier type voices. But I do have 2 other games that are coming out and another one I'm working on. So I'm always working on games, and I used to do a lot of I used to be with Funimation for a while, so a lot of people don't know that about me. I used to be a full-time voice actor, and I had to come home when my mother got sick a few years ago. So it was a life, but I do a lot of voiceover jobs, commercials, I do video games, I do all kinds of stuff. So it keeps me really, really busy. So I always try to get my fandoms done, but like I'm so behind, like even Picard right now. I have not done my Picard season 1 finale review, or what I thought overall, because it's so much and I've just got so much to do. And with Motherland and like when Charm was running, it was so hard to keep them all up, but I'm getting better. I am. Yeah, I'm gonna get those out. And I need to talk about my Batwoman theory, about especially the recasting theory. I did one stream about it. I do need to do that too. But yeah, so lots of stuff coming. I just got to get a schedule. What is this one? Oh, this might be coming from left field, but I want Parker to try to make amends to Jordan, not Maggie, because seriously, I'm triggered by their interactions. I am too, actually. I am. It was how he treated Jordan wasn't right. Jordan was just trying to defend Maggie. So yeah, that was messed up. But again, let's not forget, before now, since he doesn't have his powers anymore, which I'm assuming his demon side is gone, remember, Parker was half demon. So, I mean, a demon is the horrible qualities of you, the anger, the rage, the no conscience of taking you out, the jealousy, all of the stuff that makes, Parker half demon came out on Jordan. And yeah, it's messed up. It is messed up. But again, Maggie, I still blame, because Maggie, the way she treated Parker and the whole interactions, and her supposedly loved this guy to the point where she was going to marry him, but not really understanding who he was from season 1. That's her fault. So yeah, I want Parker to be back in the show, but honestly, I don't care if he gets back with Maggie. I think she did him wrong, and I think he should find someone else. But I would like him to be like a part of the, I'm calling it the Charmed Scooby-Doo gang. You know, I think that would be very cool. Let's see. I saw that the actress that plays Abby in another show where she clips her toenails in some dude's mouth. Damn, her toenails are long. I would like to know the name of that show. Like, I would like to know. Please post that if you know the name of that show. Let's see here. I haven't watched Batwoman. Can you give 3 big themes in Batwoman so I can see it if I may watch them? So Batwoman suffers from pretty crappy writing. I support Batwoman because I love the comic, and it's the first out lesbian superhero. And for the most part, a lot of the actors in it are very good, like Rachel Skarsgård, who played... If you ever watched a series called Birds of Prey, which is based on a comic series, she actually played the daughter of Black Canary, and the new Black Canary, basically, eventually. That was her character role. And in this, she plays Alice. She is Kate Kane, Batwoman's twin sister. And basically, the premise is when they were younger, there was a car crash. They were with their mother on their birthday. They go over a bridge, and her sister Alice gets trapped in the car. Or her sister's actual name is Beth. So Beth gets trapped in the car, and Kate wasn't able to save her, and it's something that haunted her whole life. What she didn't realize is her sister was alive, and that she was actually imprisoned by this psychopath named August, who basically kept her in a basement, forced her to do horrible, horrible stuff, and it made Alice psychotic and a sociopath. And so she took on the name of Alice because the only book she had to read for 10 to 11 years when she was in captivity was Alice in Wonderland. And so she made an entire persona based around this book, and it's completely insane. So the premise of the show is good. The plot has very, very, very good potential to be good, but the CW writing sucks. So I watched it. I didn't hate the series, but I didn't love the series. When I do those reviews, they're probably my poorest performed or watched videos, but I still do it because I'm hoping it gets better. And now that Ruby Rose is being fired or leaving the role, we're getting a new Batwoman, and I don't know how that's going to affect the story in season 2 because they are renewed for season 2. But we'll see. We will see. Let's see. I wonder if Parker is coming back. I read an interview with the showrunners, and they made it sound like he was done. I don't know. Now, like, I know he is still dating the actress who plays Maggie. So if they wanted him to come back, they still have an open door. I never listen to when they say stuff like that because they'll say it and then they'll still do it. So, you know, we can't rule Parker out completely because, quite frankly, there is a possibility always for him to come back, especially if they get new writers and another showrunner. We don't know where the story will evolve. So never rule it out. But for now, with this showrunner, for now, story-wise, there's no reason for them to bring Parker back unless they wanted to actually add more to the Scooby-Doo gang, which they should. But, you know, they're not going to listen to us, so they won't. Sorry if you already answered this, but which sister do you think is the most powerful? Out of the 3 right now, Macy. Macy is the most powerful. Maggie is number 2, and then Mel is number 3. And if I'm going to be real, Macy, Abigail, Maggie, and then Mel. Now, if I'm going by who would win in a fight between Prue and Macy, Prue would decimate Macy. Macy would be on the floor, stomped to death, a puddle, dead. But we don't have Prue, so if we had Prue in this series, let's be real, none of this stuff would have happened in season 2. Stuff would have been over like that. She'd be like, no, we're not going through this portal. We're going to work this out. And like, no, it would not have gone down like that. I wonder how Abigail and Jada would react to each other since the sisters doesn't really mesh well with her aside from Mel, but that's still wishy-washy at best. I would really like them teaming up. Well, actually, remember, there was the episode where Mel and Maggie switched places, and Maggie did kind of see why, not just from the kiss, she said, I see why, you know, Mel's into you. So Maggie didn't really have as bad of a time accepting Jada than Macy did, but Macy accepting people is always a kind of, you know, crapshoot because she doesn't really accept a lot of people in general. So, you know, she's very mistrusting of people because she had those walls up for so long. So, but yeah, Abigail and Jada would be hilarious, especially if they were in a bar. That would be really funny. That would be extremely funny, especially if at that point Mel and Abigail were dating and Jada just happened to come back. That would be hilarious. I would love that scene. That would be an awesome scene to review. Thanks for the Batwoman synopsis. I will give it a try. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to do I will do a Batwoman like overview. I don't know if it'll be a live stream or not. I'm still working on my connection issues, guys. If I get knocked off, I am so sorry. It is storming. We've been lucky, knocking on wood here, that it has not knocked me off again, because it did it with the last stream when it was raining. So I'm seeing the common denominator is the random storms we have here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee right now. We get random storms. It will be very pretty and bright, and then it gets really, really gray. We'll either get like tornadic weather or we'll get like horrible thunderstorms. And my building that was built in 1923 doesn't seem to like that very much. So my Wi-Fi really sucks. Even I wish I could actually get an Ethernet cable and just plug it in, but it's like in the other room. This is kind of like the dead spot. So I'm very proud that my Wi-Fi extender is working in here. But again, we're crossing. If we get knocked off, I will put comments and stuff below, and I will tell you how much I love you, because it is not intentional. I love you guys. So thank you for sticking it out with me, and we will work something out eventually. I promise. So let's get back to, I hope that the new Batwoman is Wallace Day. Thank you. Wallace Day would be cool. Now, I'm cool with Wallace Day because she is actually very good at fighting. I liked her in Krypton. Somebody mentioned this in another one. I went and I had to think. I'm like, you know what? That would be badass. Plus, her hair would be very easy to work in, because she has almost the cut right now, at least on the last picture I saw, that Kate Kane's character has, because Ruby Rose keeps her hair very short for the role. I also like, and I may be in the minority, Mackenzie Davis from the Terminator Dark Fate movie. She's in shape. She always plays lesbian characters. She did in Dark Mirror. She's in that movie with Kristen Stewart. She would be a very good choice for Batwoman. Plus, she looks a lot like Alice's actress. They have the same color eyes. I mean, their face shape, she looks very similar. If you put them together, like side by side, they look like they could be sisters. So I could totally see them as fraternal twins. Because remember, when we're casting this series, we have to understand that Kate Kane is a twin. So, like, as I do like the girl, and her name went out of my head, one from Brooklyn Nine, is it 119? I do like the actress. Oh, what was her name? I can't remember her name, but she's the one. She's one of the coolest characters in there. But I love her actress, and I love that she wants to play Batwoman, but she is too ethnic to play this role. And I'm saying this as a minority because I couldn't play Alice's twin sister, because I have dark eyes and dark hair, and like I don't look like anything like a woman who basically right now has blonde hair and crystal blue eyes and very pale skin. So that is not, unless they recast Alice, which I think would probably tick a lot of fans off because she's amazing in that role, there's no way. And they'd have to recast Jacob too, the father. So like, I don't think they're going to go that route. But I think Mackenzie Davis is a good choice too. So that's my second choice if they can't, if they decide to go with somebody that's not Wallace Davis, because I think Wallace is in the UK right now. She's British. And Mackenzie is American. I don't know which route they will go to, but I'll be happy with either of those choices, honestly. I don't know if they're going to listen to that either, but you never know. Sometimes they listen. I mean, we got a Snyder cut. I didn't whine about it, but people that were whining the most, we got a Snyder cut. So we're getting the Snyder Justice League movie cut. So on HBO Max next year. And they did change Sonic, so you never know. we might whine enough to get Wallace Davis. Let's see. It will be interesting to have a trans woman witch in Charmed. Yes, it will. So a little bit about me. I am married to a trans male. Most people still refer to my spouse as she. Korean American, Korean parents from Korea. But yeah, my spouse, if you watch my 500 thank you video, that is my spouse, River Park. Love my baby to death. But there aren't enough trans characters. Like, I know we have Dreamer and Supergirl. I'm totally behind on that show. But I don't really know of any others. And I think that having one, because I don't even think we have one in Motherland. No. We don't have one in Motherland, which would be really weird because they are so open about everything. It's like the She-Ra cartoon. That's not really a world that has homophobia that I see. So that would be interesting. But I don't know. The problem with having trans characters, and I'm just going to say it on my little soapbox, as somebody in the LGBT community, I guess I'm pansexual. I don't care about your gender. I will date anyone. People refer to me as bisexual on the scope because I guess P is not in the LGBT. I don't care about gender. But unfortunately, in this world, even within the LGBT community, there was a lot of hate towards anything that's not LNG. So, B is for bi and T is for try again. That's pretty much how they look at it. So there's a lot of support for cis, gay relationships or queer relationships, but not so much for trans. And so I'm always please have more trans characters on these shows, because it really opens the conversation and normalizes it a little bit more. And so I don't know if they're going to do it. I think it would be awesome. Honestly, I really do, but I honestly don't. I mean, it would be cool if it was revealed that Ruby was trans. I mean, that would be awesome. I think that would be very awesome, but I don't know. CW, if you're listening, please have some trans magical people, because, it's a very big world. We all live in it. Diversity. Let's see here. So we have Prue would jump in Macy and blow her up. Yes. Prue wouldn't have to blow Macy up. She'd look at her and Macy would cry. Prue had this look like, come at me. Prue, Wicca Wonder, hello, former guardian of the all. This would have never happened. Yes. I'm telling you, most of the stuff in season 1 wouldn't have happened if Prue was there. Prue would have been like, look, we are messing up. This is what we do. Let's get this book out. Maggie, I think your boyfriend is trash. He might be a little evil. We're not going to trust him right now. Macy, get your flip together, because you're messing up the flow. We are going to bond. Let's have a Thanksgiving or whatever holiday we need to have. Get together, discuss some stuff. Harry, you are a white lighter. Look it up in the dictionary, figure out what that means to you so we can have it in our lives. Mama did her stuff. We don't need to be like her. Let's not cheat. And like all this stuff would be like on the table. Prue would have. She'd be running a tight ship. Let's see. Yes, Prue would totally went against Macy. Prue was chucking demons across the room in episode 2. Yes, she was. In season 1, she chucked people across the room like 4 times, and 2 of those were yep, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It would be really interesting to see that the guy that grabbed Macy in her college days character turns out to be Jeremy Burns R. Hogan from Charm comic series. That would be cool. I don't know if they're going to do anything from the Charm comic series, because it is very OG centric, with the Hallowells. I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if they did some kind of spinoff with it. I would love to have a day where, all the human people had powers and all the magical creatures were depowered. But because they've already done the depowered thing in season 2, I don't see that happening. I really don't. Plus, the writers aren't that cool. They're not going to think like that. Let's see here. To be fair, I think Macy never really wanted to use her powers on people, which is interesting since Mel got the brunt of it twice. Yeah, because her and Mel are like, I don't know where this like antagonistic type relationship stuff comes between them. Macy has no reason to not like Mel, other than the fact that Mel got to live with her mama and she didn't. And that's not Mel's fault. Mel was not born in the world saying, make sure that Macy girl stays on the other side of the country because, this is all about me. It was never like that. And I understand the first time that Macy shows up at the house after the mother died, saying, I think I'm your sister, that, Mel was like, wait, what the heck? But that's a normal response. Anybody, like if I get a Facebook request on Facebook, I'm looking really hard because, how do I know you? And I do support people like, basically adding me on Facebook and whatever. But at the same time, you still want to look and make sure you're not adding someone who's not, somebody from your YouTube world or somebody from your life. And it's just somebody crazy. You know what I mean? Because I've had a lot of weird interactions, especially when I used to do like anime stuff, like anime voiceover. I used to meet a lot of interesting people that were a little touched. So yeah, that was an honest response. And so I think that one incident of her not opening her arms and saying, oh, my sister, just stay with Macy. And Macy was like, okay, you are not cool. I don't want a relationship with you. I'm going with her. What would have happened if Macy found out that Mel was her full sister and Maggie was the only Ray Vera child? How would that have played out? That's what I would love to know. But yeah, they need to get their relationship together because it's stupid at this point. We're in season 3, going into season 3, and they're still not bonded. It's annoying. Let's Eva McIntosh, the other two was a witch, and the other one was the acapella teacher, but yet no demon. Yeah, I really need more demons. Like, they had the magical hybrid creatures that they're making, the magical scientists are creating, but like there wasn't that sense of, oh, we have a sleeper demon, or oh, this demon sucks out your soul, or oh, this demon alters reality. There was no like episodic things. And I know it's because this whole world is like new to them and they're thrown into a world where they're trying to get their powers back, but there was too much. I mean, quite frankly, the girls should have been killed by numerous magical creatures, because like they had no way of protecting themselves. They had very little, like the potions they were making were from ingredients they were stealing from Kat's store. Like there was no way they could defend themselves. The only hope they had was staying in their house with their magical shield and never coming out. But Maggie needed to go to work because she's the only one with a job, and they need to eat and buy all their overpriced clothes online. So just saying. Let's see here. Same, Maria, I'm behind on Supergirl. The only character I watched for was me again, and Dreamer, and at times Brainy and James. Yeah, and James is gone. Brainy's, I don't know where the role is right now, but I caught a trailer and he looks like he's working for the other side. I don't know what's going on. I haven't caught anything this season, because honestly, guys, Crisis on Infinite Earth was kind of poo to me. As a comic lover, I don't get upset when you don't adapt comic books, exactly. But I mean, that crap was just, it was nothing. It was bad. I mean, I liked Crisis on Earth X, but I did not like Crisis on Infinite Earth. And this was a bigger crossover. And they had 5 hours, almost 6 hours, and they didn't get it right. And everything that happened from Crisis into what's happening now makes no sense. And it's just, yeah, it hurts my head. So I like Black Lightning. They get a pass because they weren't in Arrowverse originally. They are now. They're on Prime Earth now, but they get a pass. But it's been really hard for me, even with the Flash and Smearverse stuff. It's been really hard for me to really get motivated, which is why I have not been doing reviews on those shows. Will I in the future? Maybe. I don't know. But honestly, right now with the Arrowverse, Crisis has kind of put me off a lot of stuff, Arrowverse, and it's hard. So Batwoman and Black Lightning were the only ones I was keeping up with, and they are more of the darker shows. But we'll see. I mean, I don't hate The Flash. I love the first 2 seasons. I just think some of the writing on that has suffered a lot. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of Caitlin, and I'm kind of Caitlin being in every episode. And I'm always having to deal with Killer Frost, who was never even a Flash character. It was a Batman villain. So, yeah, I have my issues. Let's see here. I'm trans woman, and I've watched posts. Oh, it's very interesting, but I lack trans man. See, that's awesome. Welcome, Abby. I am pro trans. I am pro non-binary. I am pro all of the LGBT us who are the minorities who get overlooked, because I'm always seen as greedy, wanting my cake and eating it too. But yeah, I love gender and all gender. I love people, and it doesn't matter. To me, I'm a little different from my spouse, whereas the gender struggle is real because you have to fight so hard for who you really are. I accept everybody. Like, I don't see gender first. And so that's what's weird, I guess, about pansexuals. People don't get that. I have friends that are queer and asexual, and people don't understand that. And so there's so many labels, and I know it confuses a lot of people. I don't like beating it over anyone's head, but what really irritates me is that, and I have this in the other part of my life too. I'm pansexual, and I feel like we always get a very male-like shaft in the community. My father is Black and Native American, and my mother was from Scotland. And as a biracial, I feel like I'm also struggling a little bit because of identity issues, because I can't say I'm fully Black without somebody saying, but look at you. And people think I'm Hispanic. My name is Maria, so that doesn't help. I don't identify as one or the other. I accept both, and it seems to be a problem in this society. And I did like a little rant a while ago. If you ever watched a show called The Bold Type on Freeform, there's an episode where there's one of the characters' name is Kat. She's also mixed. Her father's white, her father's Black, her mother's white in the series and in real life. She's from Australia. She's darker in real life, but on the show, she's, I think, from California. And her parents taught her not to see color first. And in that episode, they said, oh, your parents raised you wrong. They made you see the world through rose-colored glasses. Which, you need to know what's happening in the world. You need to know the struggles that are happening, especially for minorities. It is happening. But then they told her she had to pick. So she chose to be the first ever Black, manager or whatever of social media. And my problem with that is, look at me. We have the same mix. So you're telling me as a biracial, I can go and say that at my job, where I'm telling you where like 90% of my coworkers are Black and female. They would not accept that as me having that honor of being the first Black anything, even though I am half Black and I should have the right to say that. So it's just unrealistic. So the biracial conversation is crazy. And then if I'm ever cast in a role, because I do act, if I'm ever cast in a role and the person was traditionally darker, it's going to be seen as colorism, because it does exist in this society, and I'm not trying to downplay it. But I also, as a biracial, feel like I can't be part of who I am because I'm too light. And then those biracials that are too dark struggle the opposite. They can't say that they're half Scottish and praise that or whatever without people looking at them saying, but no, you're Black. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so hard. So yeah, the struggle is real, guys. The struggle is real. So I am empathetic to everyone. I try to be as open as possible. I am a flawed human being. I will say things that'll make people mad. I don't mean to. And I'm not trying to get on my soapbox. I'm just putting it out there. The trans conversation is real. It is a real struggle in this country. There's so much. People are attacked for it. People have hate. My poor spouse not only has to deal with that, but also the fact that my spouse is Asian in a climate where everyone's blaming Asians now for COVID. So like, I live in the South, so you should imagine it is a real struggle. It is a real struggle. So, but yeah, back to my nerddoms and the charm conversation. Let's see here. It would be interesting to see that the guy that Macy actually burned in her college days come back, because he gave a lookalike that said, oh, as a lookalike? Are you saying come back as a lookalike for that guy? Because that would be cool. I like it when they have doppelgangers. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I like the doppelganger theory. I knew what was happening with Harry and Jimmy, like immediately. I knew that was his Darklighter, because I figured that's how they were going to bring Darklighters in. But I mean, it would be interesting to have a doppelganger for another reason. One intent on getting rid of you. That would be interesting. There's a Korean drama on Netflix called The King, where doppelgangers and time and all that stuff is played up. And like this guy is like making doppelgangers from one world go to the other world to kill their doppelganger and take over their lives. And it's actually very interesting. So that I like. I would love to see something like that in Charmed. They probably won't do that though. If Prue made it to season 8, Billie and Christy would not have gone as far as they did. Prue never would have trusted Christy at the moment she suspected anything, should have sent them flying out the manor. I honestly don't understand why they trusted Christy to begin with. Christy was a B going into it. She was horrible. She was horrible. If I was Billie and I don't like that was my sister, I'd be like, oh, you can just keep her. I'll get another one. Like, go adopt someone. I never liked Christy's character at all. Billie was annoying, but wasn't. She was kind of like the female version of Chris when he first showed up, before it was revealed that he was actually, Leo and Piper's son. He was a little, trying to do everything on, his own and kind of annoying. But Billie got a lot worse when Christy came, and I did not like that season at all. I'm gonna be real with you. I did like that, Henry came in and we got to see Paige get married to Henry. I loved Henry as actor and I love him as a character, and I loved the fact that we finally got, actually a canon relationship for Phoebe with Coop, so I did like that. And I loved that we got to see Grams and Penny again, and, even their father again. So there was a reason to bring everybody back, grown up Chris, grown up Wyatt. But that did not save the season for me. It will go down as the worst season of Charm to me ever. And that's how I feel about it. Let's see. I know that this Charm reboot, but where is Barbas, the Warlocks, Evil Witches, Zanku? Yes! Hell, the random demons that pop for vanquishing. Exactly! It just doesn't feel like we need our demons of the week. We need our mastermind. Like, I understand they're doing their own thing. I understand they're trying to do this whole humanity versus, the magical world. There's also a lot of political undertones to it, which is, I'm okay with it for the most part, as long as it's not beating over your head all the time. But like, the whole thing that was magical about Charm was trying to figure out week by week how to save their lives and the people around them and protect everyone from these creatures that they basically found a picture of in their magical book. I mean, that's what we're used to. We are used to that. It worked really well in the reboot in the first season when they started really doing it. And I love Macy coming up with scientific ways also that were non-magical of stopping these demons, because it made it seem more realistic. But now we're doing this crap that's just like all over the place. I mean, it's just what it is. It's all over the place. They don't know what they're doing. They have not found their groove yet in terms of their version of Charm. These new showrunners are a little out of their depth, in my opinion, and it's sad. It is really sad. Let's see here. You can say that again, Crisis on Infinite Trash. I don't watch Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl because of writing, character, direction, and delivery. I agree. Yes, Crisis sucked. I finished Arrow and stopped watching all the rest. I'll tune into Superman and Lois and see how I like it. Yeah, even with Superman and Lois, I will tell you, this is not a Crisis video. I guess I need to do one eventually. I did a review. I was not nice. I did a few reviews. So, very shortly, because I know we're talking about Charmed. If we're talking about Crisis on Infinite Earth, and one of the things are the top 3 things I hated about it. Number 1, the characters they chose as paragons and to save was hilariously stupid and unnecessary. And I will sum it up very quickly. You have a book of destiny. You are the Monitor. You send, basically you're out here saving all of these people that you feel are beneficial to help you fight the Anti-Monitor and to save all these Earths. But then you go to a planet full of Kryptonians and you save Lois Lane and Clark Kent. Not entire planet of Kryptonians. Kryptonians who can fight, who have unlimited power, and think about having a fleet of Supermen, basically, against Anti-Monitor. This would have been Endgame in the first episode, which is probably why they didn't do it, but still, it's stupid. So you didn't do that. Then you have this Book of Destiny that you let Lex Luthor steal, because you're the Monitor, you should foresee all of this stuff, right? He goes around killing all these Supermen when, honestly, you need Kingdom Come Superman. What if he had gone there first to Brendan Routh's Kingdom Come Superman and killed him first? Well, now we don't have him. Well, it doesn't matter, because we learned that you can just scratch your name out and write your name on top and just become the Paragon. So then really, all Monitor had to do was sit up there and say, you want to be a Paragon? Here you go. You want to be a Paragon? Here you go. He could have had the Paragons in like 10 minutes. Why send Iris and Lois and Clark to find the Paragon of Humanity and Paragon, all of these different Paragons of Truth and all of these different Paragons, if you could just fill in the blank? Stupid. So that's the first thing that I hated. Number 2, I hated the fact that they had characters that really didn't have the skill sets to take on the Anti-Monitor, but were for some reason very successful in fighting. Like Oliver Queen lost his life to these Reavers, these little, manifestations of Shadow Reavers that were coming to kill, everybody, and basically took out millions and millions of people of the population. But you have Ryan Choi, who watched a YouTube video on how to fight and was taking out the Shadow Reavers. So Arrow trained for how many seasons to fight and sacrificed his life, but Ryan Choi was just boop, boop, boop. Are you flipping kidding me? Are you flipping kidding me? And then also, if the Anti-Monitor was so bad, why was Alex and basically multiple characters, why were they using firearms? Why? I mean, if that's the case, everybody who has a gun permit and license to carry should have just been shooting out their windows. Anti-Monitor, take them out. Just start shooting them. Stupid. It's stupid. And then number 3, Bebo. And I'm not even going to talk about that. So, just done. Crisis on Infinite crap is what that was. So, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. And rant. Where are we? Because I know we have a lot of Charmed questions. Hi, Erica. Okay, it's okay if you can't watch it. I know. I'm just glad my internet hasn't cut out. Knock on wood. But yeah, thank you for watching. Weird Maggie went to divulge into her background for college, but went and actually applies to her own relationship. She literally judges a man who had no say in his genetics and upbringing. Exactly. And to be even more hypocritical, her sister has demon blood. She's not half demon, but she has demon blood, and also has tried to kill her and Mel. Well, more Mel. She tried to kill Mel on multiple occasions, and even as the source, erased Mel entirely. Like, erased her lineage as a sister, made her a taxi driver at another damn city. Like, did we forget that? I didn't. We really need transgender people in a good image. The journey is long in self-discovery and embrace yourself. Oh my God. And also from being self-judgmental to being open to all kinds of... Exactly. Like I said, we're all human beings. We're all on the spectrum in some way or another. We just need to learn to accept each other. It's why I like the She-Ra cartoon. They dealt more with the story. Nobody cared if anyone was transgender, gay, non-binary. It didn't matter. They were just little side notes in the story. Everybody just accepted it and moved on, and then went on to figure out the bigger issue, like, how not to die. So, which is what we all should be doing. How to survive. That's the thing I said about Christy. Phoebe should have sensed something off from the jump. Isn't she the empath of the sisters? How can she not sense evil, hatred, and possibly death since it's girl? Now, remember, her powers were taken. She only had barely premonitions. She couldn't force premonitions either anymore. Because of her using her powers. I think Barnabas was involved. They had a tribunal, and they decided to take her active powers away, and because she finally got active ability, so she couldn't levitate. She couldn't do she was basically back to literally episode 1, only getting a premonition when dire circumstances. She couldn't force it or anything. So yeah, by the time she met Christy and Billie, she didn't have those abilities. So yeah, that I give her a pass on that, because she was pretty much season 1 Phoebe at that point. Let's see here. I want Macy's demon power to be returned to her, and for her to fully utilize her demon and witch powers. That would have been so cool to see. I know. I feel like they took a coward's way out by having Abigail use the sword on her, or the dagger on her, and I feel like. But honestly, do we know her demon side's gone? We don't know. How is she still alive? I really want to know. I want to know the nuances of that. If the demon blood is what saved her when she was a baby, if you remove her demon side, doesn't that mean she dies? Isn't that part of the deal? I don't know. Like I said, this universe is so confusing to me, because there's not a straight answer. That's something I would have questioned before I went to somebody and said, well, I have this demon blood that saved me when I was basically a baby in stillbirth, and now I'm alive because of this demon blood. But yeah, it's an inconvenience when it makes me dark, but it keeps me alive. Can you take it from me? It's just really weird. I don't understand that. Preach, Maria. Preach, saying what I've been thinking these several months about Crisis on Infinite Trash, and they straight up used Jefferson Alexander as a fucking bad. Yes, they did. Oh my gosh. They used Black Lightning for 30 seconds, and you know who he was with? Do you know who he was with? Caitlin. Killer Frost. Because Killer Frost is more important than Black Lightning, even though Black Lightning is a much cooler character than that woman. And another thing that I'm just going to say really quickly, another problem that I have about that, I am not a West Allen or Snowberry or whatever the ships are. I just like the comics, and I know that Iris was endgame for Barry. He also was with Fiona and a few others, but Iris was always endgame. My problem was, if your wife died in Crisis and then you come back in the last episode, why are you not with your wife? Why are you watching TV with Caitlin? Leave it alone. Leave it alone. There's something going on. I know that the actress who plays Caitlin in The Flash is really good friends with one of the producers, so that's why she gets her way on that show a lot. But I am not a Caitlin fan. I don't dislike Caitlin's character as a whole. I just don't like the fact that we are always bombarded with her in situations that is just stupid. We don't need to have this much Caitlin. She wasn't that major of a character in the comics. I don't know why the heck she is now. So, but whatever. I digress. Let's see here. Gamby figured out crisis was happening on a tablet. Cisco fixed a machine that was not able to figure out in 2 seconds. Oh, Cisco wasn't even in the last episode. So, I mean, they had to have a reason to have Ryan Joy there. But I'm leaving that alone, too. Like I said, angerous is what I call myself when it comes to crisis. I have 5-hour rants on that thing. Do you think Macy and Harry will have children like Leo and Piper did? Yes. And they might be magical. But if Macy has her demon ability back, then their baby would actually be kind of like a evil, well, I guess it would be potentially the Antichrist. I mean, honestly, like it would be completely opposite of Wyatt. It would be very, very, very dark. I know Wyatt had a dark side because of some of the things he went through as a child, but yeah, Macy's demon side would definitely be in that baby. So it would have angel, demon, and witch. That's a triple threat right there. So I would be scared of that baby. Let's see. Another thing I missed in the Charm reboot is the social commentary from season 1, such as the Me Too movement, Maggie's struggles with racial identity, rape on college campus. Yes, right now we don't have any of that because they are too busy being separated and not doing what they're supposed to be doing as sisters and Charm ones and trying to figure out how to get their powers back. But again, I mean, you definitely can feel the shift in writing. It's so weird that new showrunners were needed to begin with because I quite frankly didn't think there was a problem with the old ones. But whatever. Like I said, I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, whenever you get producers and stuff and the CW get involved, I mean, it can go either way. CW has a very horrible track record of making very crappy decisions in terms of writers. So, I don't know. Let's see here. Do you think Macy and Harry will eventually have a child? Yeah, we already answered that one. According to the writers only, her demon powers were taken. She still has demon blood. But what does that mean, though? Just having demon blood? Does that mean you can't ever be demon or channel that dark side? I mean, I really want to know. I want to know what the demon blood does besides just give you powers. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like if you're half angel, aren't you just half angel? Like, and I really need to go back and watch my Nona Earp, but this may be spoiling something. I probably shouldn't say that. There's a character that is revealed to be half angel, so I won't say who it is. But I always wonder, what does that mean? Because this character hasn't been shown to have significant power, but obviously there's something there. Is that how Macy's demon blood is? Like the blood from the demon, being that it's still there, still is like entitles her to be able to either get powers back or like become a full-fledged demon, or what does that mean? Like, I get it. It's not like an Inuyasha Shishomaru thing where they're actually half human, half demon, but like I really want to know what the blood does. I guess that's my thing. What does this mean for her now? Because she still has it, and then would her kid still get powers, demon powers, because she still has demon blood? It'd be interesting. Okay, I guess since the demon who made the deal is dead, yet when Abigail used a dagger to strip the demonic properties of their blood, we get this, like a tribrid. I like that tribrid. I mean, it's true though, right? It would be witch, it would be white lighter or angel, and it would be demon. That's a mess. That is a mess. Let's see here. The CW have put the Knicks on a lot of potentially cool Charm storylines. Yep. OG connections. I wonder how much that interference has helped or hindered the show. It has hindered it a lot. I am so worried about season 3, guys. I really am. There's so much potential to get it right. But I mean, they've only had a couple of episodes that I actually thought were worth anything in this season. So I don't know. There've been a handful that were okay. 2 that I liked. And the rest of them were just crap. So I don't know what's going to happen in season 3. But I swear to you guys, if they do a time skip, like I even said this in my Motherland review for the finale, because I love the finale. I will be so, let me think of a very horrible thing. I will be butthurt. I will be butthurt if they do a time skip in season 3, where it's like 6 months in the a future, and some of the stuff is kind of like played out, and then they go back and do like stupid flashbacks just to progress the story. I will be angry if they do that, because that, I don't know, I might stop watching the show. And that's really, I mean, I'm trying to support Charmed and the Charmed like to the best of my ability. But I think I will stop watching that show. They better not. They better not. Let's see. Wyatt is evil because he was born in the manner which on that magical nexus. Same as Phoebe. They are more prone to evil. Yes, that's true. And that's how I wonder. I wonder if Macy is more prone to evil because she goes to her dark side quickly. But I mean, she has a lot of insecurities. She's got a lot of anger issues about her mother and feeling abandoned and building all these walls and how she was raised by her father separate, you know, because he was very protective. You know, he like how he was talking to her in the episode when we saw him. He was like, little girl, you want to live in this house? You follow my rules, you know. So, I mean, Dexter was not a pushover. He was pretty strict. And we learned that Macy really didn't have a direction. Like she came off in the first season. Like she wanted to do music. She had all these different like avenues outside of science, and she changed her major multiple times. So that is so Phoebe, you know, if you look at it, that's not Prue. That's more Phoebe. I love how all the OG Charm characters kind of, were inspiration for the reboots, but they kind of morphed their personalities around where they kind of split elements from all of them in all of the girls. Because yeah, Macy is Prue, but she's also very Paige because she's a half sister, but she also has the indecisiveness of Phoebe, you know, and you know, you kind of can go back and forth. Like honestly, Maggie is closer to Piper, especially with the judgmental stuff, because Piper was very judgmental, than she is to Phoebe. So like they all have hybrids of all the characters. It's just interesting. I think it's like a cornucopia of craziness. That's what it is. Let's see. What are you expecting with the Harry wind wipe thing for next season? So do you mean like the whole power or the emotions wipe? I think if Maggie has any sense in her head, she won't do it. Because if she does, her and Macy are going to have issues, especially if Macy finds out that she's the one who did it willingly without telling her. And then we're going to be back to square one on the sisters' relationships and them not trusting each other, not telling each other stuff. And it's just going to make me mad. So hopefully she won't do it and this won't be an issue. If they do it, like I can't even see, to me it would just be stupid. It's just dumb. I really hope I don't even want to think about Harry not having emotions for Macy because that's just a dumb storyline. So if that happens, you will hear my rant. But hopefully it won't. Hopefully Maggie will be like, look, maybe I just need to touch you and force some sense into your body, and then that's my emotional force push for you. I honestly felt personally gypped because we never truly got to see the full scope of the dark future with Wyatt, since we only ever saw Chris and Bianca's perspectives, not the possible resistance. Or yeah, we didn't, did we? We saw the after effects of what happened when he went dark, and we heard from Chris how bad it was, and we did get to see Bianca and the whole. That was a sad storyline, but I think actually she's probably alive now, since it's, you know, Piper's still alive, and he had visions of his mother, like in his past his mother died. I think when Chris was 14, Piper died or something like that. But like, so I think all that got rewritten. But yeah, it would have been really nice to see this like Terminator type world, you know, of the future. It was all because of Wyatt. That would have been really cool. Yeah. Let's see here. The show really needs to be trimmed to 13 episodes and not 22. I don't know. I don't mind them having 22 episodes if they're going to do something with them. It's like, I have the opposite opinion with Motherland. I feel like Motherland Fort Salem really needed 30, 28, 26, whatever episodes, because they had so many things going storyline-wise in that show. And they really did a good job in the finale. I'm not going to take that away from them. I love that. That was probably one of the best season finales I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot. But I feel like there's so much more we can explore in that series, and I feel like Charmed, there's so much they could do. There's so many characters, so many storylines they could do in those episodes. But if you're not going to use them and they're just going to treat everything like filler, then yeah, it's no point. There's no point. But honestly, if you give Charmed Reboot 13 episodes, they're going to give us the horriblest freaking season ever in season 3. I'm going to be real with you. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad because it's going to be so rushed, and it's going to look rushed. It's going to feel rushed, and nothing's going to get resolved, and all the character development and growth will not happen because they don't have time, and they will blame it on that. And I don't want to give the writers of this series, especially if they're the same ones from season 2, like enough leverage to bargain with the fans by saying, hey, work with us. We didn't have a lot to go with. We only had 13 episodes. So now they need to have more, actually. Let's see here. I think this season focused on relationships, unfortunately, so next season that I want sisterhood. Yes. However, that will probably not happen. So season 3 could be completely crap. Yes, let's just pray that it's not. Well, we're going to cross our fingers and hope that they listen and that they're like not dumb. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping they read people's review or watch people's reviews, or at least read like social media posts about it, because I know we're not the only ones talking about how crap season 2 was. So maybe they will learn from it and they will take the fans in consideration, since the shows are for us, and then say, hey, maybe we get better writers with, continuity. Let's see. But La La Land, I do agree. 13 episodes produced by Netflix, done by different showrunners, would be cool. Different showrunners would be cool. Unfortunately, CW is not going to do that. So... let's see here. I'm not worried for season 3. The multiple Charmed arc opens so many possibilities that should just hire me to write for them. Robert, I would watch the show. You have had some good theories, especially season 2. I would watch a series that you did. I would absolutely watch. If you were in the writer's room, I really feel like some of the crap we got in season 2 would not have happened. And if they did happen, I would have blamed you. But no, I really think that, guys, some of the comments that I read on some of the reviews, I was like, wow, we really did build up a better world. If we were doing a Charm book series, that stuff would have been on point. Like, seriously. Because the ideas we were coming up with, I don't think they even conceived in the writer's room of the actual series. And that is pretty sad. If you think about all the creative minds together trying to produce a show, and that's literally their job almost 24/7. And we have other lives and other shows we like, and we're coming up with better things and better plot points than they are. It's just sad. It's really sad. And I like to support, my writers. I have a film degree. I understand how hard it is to be in this business, and I understand that, the red tape you have to go through with producers, directors, and networks. But at the same time, come on, guys. You have to have a passion for something to do it. If this is just a job for you, then you're in the wrong role. You need to find somewhere else to be. And that's what I think a lot of the writers are. They're like rotating writers because they can. As a matter of fact, I was watching Roswell, New Mexico, and I swear they had a scene that was so hairy with Max's character that I was like, wow, did they get the same writer from Charmed? And this wasn't something that worked well in Charmed. Why are you doing this over here? And I'm like, oh, and I was so happy it only lasted for half of an episode, what they did with Max. But, oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Let's see here. Sorry, it started speeding up, so I'm trying to go back. Okay. All right, here we go. Maria, can I link your review in Charm to Facebook? Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely link it. Not a problem. I don't think she's working alone. Maybe she's working with Julie and Viv. I think I missed some of this. Celeste. Okay, I don't think she's working alone. Maybe she's working with Julie and Viv. Thought this seems unlikely, given their hatred of magical creatures. Only one on the planet who actually knew about them. Yeah, but you may hate something, but with absolute power comes what? If you're going to fight fire with fire, you're going to fight magic with magic. So, do you hate the magic, or do you hate the fact that you don't have it? That's the Vivian question right there. She's a power-hungry bee. She's money-hungry, she's status and power-hungry. So it makes sense that she's already topping her world in terms of money and status, but she doesn't have magic, and that is the one thing not making her a super bee. So, yeah, I think Viv's all in it because she wants powers herself. It's not just to save her niece. It's because she wants to be all-powerful. And that's what it is. Which, if you look at that from a political standpoint, that's literally what, the 1%? So, makes sense. As for her working with Southern, she probably is working with a lot of people. Is Julie the name of the Peyton's character? The woman we don't understand what's going on with her, why she's in there for a few episodes and then we never see her again? What is her role? I need them to tell us what that. I want to know who she's supposed to be in this series. How is she so high ranking? What does she actually do for them? I want to know. I feel like they're moving in the direction of sisterhood. Not sure why they are dragging their feet with it so much, though. Because they're lazy and they have too many writers. Let's see here. I'm still hoping that the OGs do a revival. They're grown women and it should be able to put their differences aside for the right paycheck. Yeah, money does talk. Especially in a Netflix format. They wouldn't have to be with each other long, especially if they were doing a movie. So they may be able to get together to do a movie. But honestly, I would love it if they go through like a portal and then they end up with Prue and not with Paige. Because honestly, I think Rose McGowan has been a little unstable over the years. That's just from interviews. Now, I could be way off saying this. I don't ever say anything that's 100%, but she doesn't seem to be all there these days. So having her back as Paige would be very weird, especially as somebody pointed out, her and Alyssa don't get along. And so if Shannon and Alyssa could get along, then we'd have Prue and Phoebe back, and it could be like an alternate. Something can happen and their whole lives could be like, you know, kind of like instead of going to safe space and, you know, dying and having to go to Seattle, they actually go through a portal and the opposite happens. Their younger sister is the one that died and their older sister is the one that lives. Like they learn about, you know what I mean? Maybe they grew up with with Paige, and then Prue's the one they get to know. Something cool like that. Something where Prue is brought back into the equation would be awesome. I think that would be really cool. I'm definitely more Prue, you know, Piper, Phoebe than I am Piper, Phoebe, Paige. I don't hate Paige. Paige annoyed me a little bit, but I don't hate her. But I just kind of feel like right now it would just be really weird to see them together. Let's see here. You would think that since this is a power imbalance amongst the demonic hierarchy, that some random demon or person found the power of the source. Or how about Julian becoming like the Doctor that took the sister's blood and gained the powers only to die by the end of the day. Yeah, he was pretty stupid. You know, I one of the running jokes I always have about Charmed is you just don't go to the hospital, because every one of their doctors was like, either couldn't save him, like the episode where Piper was dying from that disease, can't save you. They always get like a spell. They're dying, or they're corrupt, or even when when the avatars made everybody happy and then the doctor was like, your sister's bleeding to death. You know, it's like, why bother? So, but yeah, I think Julian could become like that. I don't know. Julian, he's an anomaly. Like, he's not really evil, but he's not good. He's in the middle. So, like, he'd be a good Avatar character. I think I could see him as an Avatar, honestly. I could see him being as he can go on to be the founder of their version of the Avatars. You know, the balance between good and evil. I mean, he's on the scope. He's, like, on the spectrum, so I could see that. But now, I don't really know. I mean, I don't know what Julian's fate is going to be. I really like the actor who plays him. And I like the show he was in that went right out of my head. It's the one where they had troubles and the girl kept coming back from, you know, kept being reincarnated to help the people that would have troubles. And the troubles are basically different abilities or different things that would happen because of their powers that, you know, in this small town. And I can't remember the name of this show, but it was on Sci-Fi. I think it ran for, 3 seasons, maybe 4. Really good show. But he was a very good character on that. And I really, really like his actor. And I kind of feel like, I don't think they did not utilize his actor enough. They really didn't. I mean, if we're going to get this big revelation about him, he should have had a lot more screen time, honestly, and not just be the person pining after Macy. But that's just my opinion. Let's see here. Let's see. How they treated the shop owner and medium was horrible. She was kind-hearted, open, and helpful. And after being of use, they left her to be tormented by visions of astral worms. Well, Mel did try to help her. But, I mean, the problem is that she's a medium and didn't realize it. And I called that crap. I even said I think she's a medium because she's Thai. And, like, I know in that country, I watch a lot of, like, scary movies, and a lot of the movies that I see, a lot of stuff that was happening to her is what happened in these characters in these Thai movies that they film over there with mediums, and people find out they can talk to the dead, and they believe that over there very wholeheartedly. So of course that made perfect sense if they were going by Like they did their research and went by culture. So I knew she was a medium. I do agree that how they treated Kat's storyline, especially the flirtatious stuff with Mel that didn't go anywhere. And basically she lost everything. She lost her store. She thought she was losing her sanity. She lost her life. And basically had to go off and learn about herself. I thought that she's like a 5-minute rotating character, and I thought that was pretty crappy. But I mean, I honestly think that's what Nico was too. And that's not cool. So, but yeah, they really treated her horribly. Macy have triplets coming from the future like Chris. One evil white lighter, one angelic demon, and a natural witch. Joke that 3 siblings walk into a bar. Like that would be funny, actually. What was your opinion when you saw the Book of Shadows being burned? I honestly wasn't sure if it was. That was my thing. Like, and someone pointed this out earlier when it blew up. I really don't know what happened. We didn't see like pieces of it, did we? I don't remember seeing pieces of the book fly anywhere. So 9 times out of 10, it's still there. And if they want to be able to have a DVD or Blu-ray box set with the Book of Shadows, like the one I have, because I have the collector's edition for Charmed, then they're going to have to bring it back. I'm just saying. That or we're going to have a Blu-ray one of the Book of Elders, and that's just going to be odd. Or cool, however you look at it. Let's see. What happened to Kat? I really liked her character, and I thought they were going to bring her back into the story. Well, remember, she's off finding herself. Her mother was going to put her in a mental institution because she thought she was nuts. But now that Kat knows she's a medium, I guess she talked her out of it. And she was going off to figure out her powers and her medium abilities that she didn't know she had. So, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see Kat again, honestly. I think Ruby took her place, and I don't think we're going to see Ruby either. So I think Ruby's a 5-minute character, too. If you were involved with Mel and you don't have a pre-established story, you know, like Abigail has at least a pre-established story. So if they get together, there's a good chance she'll still be on the show. But if you were just the girlfriend of the week in Mel's life, you're not going to last long. That's what I figured out. You just don't have a long history or a long time. The clock is already starting, basically. Let's see. I predict Rosemary is the conqueror, and I hope the first thing she does is kill Aunt Vivian because I hate that woman. Yep, I said the same thing. Rosemary is the conqueror, and it would be nice if she takes Aunt Vivian out. That would be awesome. You're right about the Rose McGowan has lost her entire mind. Yeah, the interviews I've been seeing and reading, they have not been very flattering over the years. She seems crazy, so I don't know if working with her on the set of a Netflix movie is in the cards. Maria, do you think Julian or Aunt Vivian going to become like the doctor that took the sister's blood when Piper got deathly sick due to some of the fever to gain their powers only to die by the end? No, I really hope my theory is correct and he becomes like an avatar. Like he's the first avatar, which also is messed up. I think it'd be cool though, because again, he is both bad and good. He has a conscience, but he also is very... He wants what he wants, and he doesn't care what he has to do to get it. We also saw his temper when he was yelling at the guy who was drilling through the wall, knowing that they couldn't get through the wall with the machine. So yeah, him being like an avatar would suit him. And I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it'd be cool. Haven, thank you. I could not think of Haven to save my life. I love that show. My previous spouse, we used to watch it. He had brain cancer, so he passed away a few years ago, but one of his favorite shows in the entire flipping world was Haven. I don't know why I could not think of the show, but I flipping loved that show. It was a great concept. That, and if I could recommend a few more shows to you, I liked Eureka, and one of my favorite ever sci-fi shows was Warehouse 13, and I was heartbroken when Warehouse 13 was canceled, especially when they had the highest ratings. They just couldn't afford that, and that new show they replaced it with that I won't even talk about. I'm not even going to say its name because it made me mad. But Warehouse 13, if you can find old episodes, watch it. Great show. But yeah, Haven was amazing. I loved it. Do you think the Charm ones need more of a backstory in their family line? Heck yeah! I need to understand who the Veras were. Who the heck were the Veras? Do they only have their mother? Like, are all the other ones dead? Because have you ever heard of a cousin, an aunt, a grandmother, a grandfather, anybody? They have no other family. That is weird. That is very weird. So yeah. I need more backstory on the Vera line. Why are they dead? Where are they? And really wouldn't be the Vera line because Vera is the married name. What was Marisol's last name? Because Ray Vera is the Vera and he's human. So what is Marisol's maiden name? And then on top of that, who was her family and where are they? Absolutely. Season 3, gods of season 3 CW, answer this question. Let's see here. Macy losing her memory next, or something goes wrong and Macy is the one to lose her feelings for Harry. They better not. Man, I'm telling you this right now. If she loses her memories of Harry and he turns his emotions off, they can just keep it. There will not be hasty anymore. There will just be me saying, forget this. That's a very loud airplane, which is actually flying during a storm. That's very creepy. But no, I really feel like they're creating too many obstacles for these characters. I mean, they're doing stuff they didn't even do with Piper and Leo. This is stupid. And Leo actually had an oversight. The elders were still there. So, like, this is dumb. There is nothing keeping Harry and Macy apart but Harry and Macy. And that's why I don't like it. But, you know, whatever. Hadn't realized the tie connection with Cat, the Charman would have cultural cats. Yeah, I like to research my stuff. Just like, I thought it would be really cool if Jordan's family, instead of being like witch hunters, were actually like Egyptian. Because, you know, he's mixed. So I thought it would be cool if there's like an Egyptian tie-in and maybe he's a reincarnated pharaoh. I would have loved that. That would have been awesome because then you have Egyptian magic. But no, they decided not to do that. But, you know, that's their loss. Let's see. I swear Rosemary better come in more calculating and skilled than her relatives because from what we've seen, she only wakes up briefly due to the black amber. But, you know, maybe she doesn't wake up not because she's in a coma. Maybe she's hibernating for the big battle. Did they ever think about that? Of course, they probably don't know she's the great evil either. But, I mean, what if that's what wakes her up? It's not the black amber. It's that she's ready to take on the Charmed Ones because she did it before. Just saying. That would be interesting. It would be Nadia is Peytonless. Thank you, Nadia. But what is her role? What does Nadia do other than be a bitch? I mean, use my language, but what does she do? So we want Warlocks, Demons, Avatar, Julian, Cupid, Jordan, and possible Seer, Swan, and Rosemary. Okay, I'm down with it. Yes. And the Warlock has to be Julian McNamara, whatever. I always say his name wrong. Cole's actor needs to be Abigail's uncle on the mother's side, making him the first Warlock we get, being a central character, helping the Charmed Ones like Abigail. That's also what they should do in season 3. If they brought him back in that capacity, I mean, the fans would go crazy, first off. You know that, because Cole was a fan favorite. People loved him. Even though he was dark, he did shady stuff, he was very charismatic. It would be awesome. Even if one sister dies, don't want that. A new set of Charmed Ones will arise. Maybe we need that. But no, I like Mel, though. I don't want Mel to go. Yeah, maybe they need to introduce a fourth sister like as a standby. In the Book of the Elders, one sister's name in the list of Charmed was always in red with each generation. Maybe being of two worlds, mixed heritage is part of it all. I love that idea. Yeah. I think that would be cool. I just don't want, like, I think somebody told me they watched a review. I read it somewhere. I saw a picture and I didn't catch it. Something about when they were looking in the book with all the Charmed Ones, the only person that had red nail polish on was Mel. And that's why people were like, and we think Mel's going to be the one that died. And I'm like, that better not be it. That better not be what they're doing, marking the sister with red nail polish. I will beat your brains in. No. Mel cannot die. Mel's not dying. Not happening. Let's see. I bet they're Hallowell somewhere. Maybe. I mean, what's interesting is we saw Melinda in the book, didn't we? Melinda Warren. Didn't we see her picture in the pilot when they were like holding the Book of Shadows and they flipped over? There was Melinda Warren right there. Maybe they're related to the Warrens. Maybe her mother's maiden name is Warren. I don't know. I just know that her name is not Vera, and then we've never really figured out what Marisol's last name, actually her maiden name, actually is. Who was the woman that she was talking to sitting on the bench about the premonition she was having about her baby? They never went into that either. Remember that scene? There was a scene where Marisol's talking about she knows something's wrong with Macy. She was sitting on a park bench, and I think, yeah, it was when they traveled back. and we saw that Maggie and Mel both saw their mother talking about what they knew was Macy, because she was pregnant with Macy at the time, and she was talking about her. She was worried about her baby, but there was a woman sitting there who obviously knew a lot about witchcraft, and I'm assuming was another elder. But I mean, we don't have any idea who their mother. We have no idea who their mother is, where she comes from, who her family is. It's just stupid. At this point in time, we should know this stuff. Let's see here. I have to say that Jordan's character in relationship with Maggie has massively grown on me. I find Parker so annoying. He can be annoying, but again, let's be real. Maggie can too a little bit. She's very judgmental, very, I'm not a child, don't treat me like, she's very whiny. So I feel like they made a good couple. Like, honestly, Jordan is so worldly and experienced and more mature than Maggie is. And Maggie's getting there. But she's still like, she just turned 21. And I'm not saying that this is an age thing, but she actually is the definition of a stereotypical 20-year-old. So her and Jordan getting together is going to be interesting. I mean, his last girlfriend is in law school and very mature and was living in his, or staying at his apartment with him. And then you got Maggie, who's had 2 relationships. One she dumped and the other one was half demon and didn't handle either very well. So I don't know. I worry about Jordan in this case. Let's see here. I actually liked Harry and Macy in the beginning, but they are dragging it out so much. I know, it's just, it's like we get kind of what we want, and now we're kind of like, did we really want this to begin with? Because it's so annoying. I mean, if it's just so hard to keep these 2 people together, then maybe they don't need to be together. It's just weird. I want the Vera Vaughn's familial background. Yes, I want their familial background too, than just their mom. Because seriously, where is the history, and where are they going to learn the consequences of actions of past Charmans? And also, where are they going to learn their human side? Like, there should be more of a human connection to these witches. Like, right now, Mel is pro being a witch. She hates being human. Let's be real. She does not like being depowered and normal. And she should actually find, like, in herself, this inner love for herself, not just being a witch, but being a human being. And she doesn't have that human connection. It's really sad. But, I mean, again, no character development does that to a character. I'd also like to know about Dexter's family. Did Macy grew up alone? Did he not have family either? Did we just find people that have no families? I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. Let's see here. Why are white lighters considered good and dark lighters considered bad? Because they take the negative, dark energy and everything that makes you dark and kind of human out of you to make the perfect angelic beings, self-sacrificing, who just serve like brainless crazies and heal whoever and do the elder's bidding. It's easier to control someone who is innately good and can only do good and will die for you than it would be to have somebody who has a conflicting nature, hence the dark side. So that all that dark energy becomes a pure dark person. The only problem is it wasn't completely, it didn't work 100% because, as we know, Jimmy felt what Harry felt and vice versa, and Jimmy had feelings for Macy too. So he had the capacity to love, which is what a dark lighter should not be able to do. So the formula wasn't 100%, and as we saw with Celeste, most of her stuff wasn't 100% anyway. She had a lot of flaws, a lot of mix-ups, a lot of her stuff didn't work completely. But yeah, in retrospect, it should be all the evil that humanity has sucked into one person and all the good into the other, splitting it, a yin and yang effect. Love Ruby's powers in the last episode. So cool. It's a shame with a minor character ends up being more like a Charman than a Charman. Exactly. Like, that wind spell was awesome. It's sad that we had Elsa / Firestorm laying on the ground and couldn't take on the Dark Lighter, but Chicky just cast a freaking spell. It wasn't even an active power. It was a wind spell and took down, Jimmy. That's so stupid. Let's see here. Oh my God, a 4th sister, I wouldn't mind, but I feel like they're going to ruin it. Of course they would ruin it. Absolutely. I need more potions. Yes. It's spells being used by the sisters because it seems to be interesting their skills grow. Yeah, I love the fact that only Mel knows how to make it outside of Abigail. You know what I mean? Nobody else can make a potion. Only Mel can do it. But yet Macy's the chef in the family, the cook. You know what I mean? It's like, why is Mel the one that only knows how to... She's the only one that remembers stuff from the Book of Shadows. She's the only one that knows the spells. She's the only one that was into the witch world. So I guess that part makes sense, but it's just funny that they don't know anything. It's really weird. A fourth sister I don't think would fit in the version of Charmed. Yeah, you're right. Quite frankly, sometimes I don't think the sisters fit in the version of Charmed. I was willing to see more cultural and ethnical names of the past Charmed ones in the Book of Elders. I'm familiar to Indian, Chinese, African culture, so some set of names from different countries. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see like something obscure like Laos, have like sisters from, that were Laos, or have like, some sisters that were, from Trinidad or something like that, just so like all over, just really make this broad. Like, we've got these sisters that are from Tibet, you know what I mean? That would be cool. But Charm, they're trying to be diverse, but it's very hard when you have writers who aren't diverse. If you have, like I told you about the bold type earlier, they don't have diverse writers, but they're writing for diverse characters. That is the problem. If you don't know your stuff, then it's going to come out as you not knowing it. It's like writing a fanfic and you haven't done any research and the fans call you out on it. It's like, no. It's just not gonna work. So yeah, it's sad. Not as toxic as some of my other nerddoms. Like, I will tell you, some of the most toxic nerds out there will be Trekkies. Not saying it's bad to be a Trekkie, but the response, if you mispronounce a name, is interesting. Like, so if you're not on top of your Star Trek lore, then don't do a video, is what I'm saying. I've loved Star Trek for years. I'm 43 now. I think I saw my first episode when I was 5. So I've loved Star Trek for years. But guys, even I mess up the names. I mean, I don't speak Romulan, so. But the same is here. I think they're so worried about not doing representation justice and culture justice because they don't have an insight, or they don't have done enough research for a script of this magnitude, and they don't want to offend anybody, because you take a lot of chances when you do cultural, anything. You adapt something, you could offend a lot of people if it's not done right. So I think that it's more of a fear, and the writers aren't they're not as open and maybe as cultured as we probably would need them to be to do that. So let's see here. All right. I might have skipped someone. I'm sorry. It's going pretty fast. I have to say, your joy in the shows from Charm to Motherland is infectious. I look forward to reviews and musings just as much as the shows. Keep shining bright. Thank you. How do you say your name? Oini? Oini? That's a cute name. And thank you for the smiley emoji. It's raining, so that makes me happy. Robert Sokol. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a fourth sister. Better yet, a brother, but fully human, either from Dexter or Ray with another. Yes, that! Robert. I need you to call the CW show, the studios, and tell them that you would like to be a writer on the series. And tell him that you have the support of the fandoms, because you got your stuff, man. I would how cool would it be to have a little, especially if he's a younger brother, a younger human brother. Because that's exactly what's happening in OG Charm. Remember, Paige, she had twin girls, but they adopted a little boy. And if you read the comic books, it was actually the mother was killed, that Henry was helping, and they ended up taking the boy home. So you have one non-magical sibling and 2 magical siblings. And all 3 of them are equally loved. But of course, he's always going to have like that inferiority complex with his sisters, because they can do cool stuff and he can't. But he's also going to be more bonded with the dad because he's human. So you have all these elements you can play off of that. That would be awesome. I would totally love a non-magical brother. They won't do it, Robert, unless you get a job there. For growth reasons, could we see the sisters drink their character development juice? Well-written plot. Yes, give them that NutriBullet smoothie of continuity and character development. Do it. I dare you. I would love that. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I feel like I know more about Abigail than I know about the sisters. It's pretty sad. I think it would be interesting to see if Maggie would go to dark Phoebe when she tried. So her becoming dark? What would that look like? I mean, she's already beating people with a little cane. I mean, I wonder what really changed with dark Maggie, other than not really caring if she hurt you. I think it would be interesting. I would love to see what got her to that point. I think Macy going dark, we've already seen. We've seen the worst of her when she took on the Source. And I still love the fact that she went after Mel. That's just shows you right there, guys. But yeah, a dark Maggie would be cool. I would like to see where they would take that and why she would become dark. That would be interesting. I think a dark Mel would be worse. that would be something I'd want to see. A Mel that was like, screw these potions, screw all my sisters, screw all this stuff. Because she really is the only one that seemed to give a crap about being in the sisterhood for the longest time, you know. Maggie may have been the glue, but Mel was the conscience in a way. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, honestly, guys, if my sister was evil and kept picking on me, I don't know if I'd be telling her I loved her. I'm like, why are you always throwing me in the walls? Let's see here. It would be interesting. Oh, to protect Swan. wait. For girl reasons, could we see the sisters drink their character development juice and well-written prose to protect Swan if she is the elite's counterpart from the abusive ex, and how Phoebe killed him by her charged empathy overloading his brain and being caught in camera exposing witches? That would be cool. That's a very complicated plot. That would be very, very complicated. But no, they need to do more with Swan. They did not just bring Swan in there to smile, make jokes, and to give vegan brownies. That is not why she's there. She needs to have more of a purpose. If Swan disappears in season 3, I will never let anyone forget it. I'm just letting you know. Because Swan, she was even in the season finale and Jordan wasn't. She was the one that saw the camera and saw them like putting the magical detectors and stuff in the walls and stuff. So she was the one that put that on social media. So Swan is not the bubbly airhead that they seem to treat her as. I want them to do something with Swan. I do. I will be hard pressed to find a writer that would, but if I could, if they did it, I would be singing the praises from the top of this building. You should be in the writer's room. The show would be 100% better. Yeah, if Robert comes and picks me up, we'll make this happen. We will work this out. I hope we get to see some of the Marisol's family history, or Marisol's family and history. Yes. And now, guys, since I know I mentioned not seeing relatives, but I never really thought about just how messed up it is that we don't even know Marisol's maiden name. We really don't. Is this a secret? Like, are we not meant to know? Like, did the writers from the first season, like our showrunners, did they put it on like social media and they told us what the story was? Because they do that. They do at Motherland. Like, I didn't know that Bridie and Motherland like got suspended until somebody told me that they said it on social media or an After the Storm. Some things don't make it into the series. Like, so did they tell us? Did they even say the name in the first season and I missed it? I mean, if you guys remember Marisol's name, please let me know. Because, guys, I don't remember. I do not remember at all. I really don't. As far as I know, we've always just said Vera. So I really would love to know what their mother's maiden name is. So, just saying. And why she never went back to her maiden name after her divorce. Another question. Let's see here. Do we think that they are going to go there with Mel and Abigail? I kind of wish they wouldn't, but it feels very much like they are laying some seeds there. I do want them to do that. I don't hate Abigail. Again, I think Abigail played Harry in season 2. She was Harry. So she did everything Harry was supposed to do. If it was not for Abigail, they would have been screwed a majority of that season. So I really have, it started off very trashy for me. I wasn't a big Abigail fan in the very, very beginning, but she grew on me. And the more she did, and the more the Charm ones treated her like crap, the more I liked her. Because I'm like, wait a minute. She's doing all this stuff with you, and she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to do any of these things for you. She didn't. There was nothing that Abigail ever had to do for the Charm ones. But she did it. And all they did was whine and talk about how bad she was. But then they kept going to her for help. So, like, I have a big appreciation for Abigail's role and character. And I do love the chemistry that her and Mel have. Because they have chemistry. Just watch them at the bar. Watch them in her bedroom when they were hiding in her apartment from the demons. They have chemistry. So I am all for them getting together. I really am. Plus, quite frankly, I need somebody to stick around that's not going to be written out after 5 episodes. Like all of the other girls in Mel's life. Let's see. Since Maggie is somehow immediately eating the use of her empathic powers at the drop of a hat, I want to see her progression on screen. I want to see her train her powers. Why is it the Charm ones had so many issues in the OG series, like getting in control of their powers and abilities, which happened a tiny bit in season 1 of this reboot. But like Maggie just seems to just know how to do it. Like, how did she evolve into this new emotion force push power? If you know the technical term of that, let me know. That's what I call it. how does she able to control it to the point where she was using it on Macy to calm her down, and she just, I mean, they just introduced it, and already she's like, I'm the master of this ability. And it's so weird to me that they don't need training. So I would love to see them struggle through their emotions. Like maybe she walks into the room and like people start passing out or like getting angry and beating each other because she's mad and she's like, oh crap, I may need to learn how to control this. Not just like, I got this. It's just so weird. So yeah. Bond Over Blood. One of my favorite episodes is the season search party, was because it had so much magic. I love the purse bit. Yes, that was cool. I loved that one, and I loved the episode where they got their charm powers back, because I felt like that was the first episode all flipping season when they were actually acting like sisters, because at the very beginning of that episode they were getting coffee together and talking about each other's lives and showing interest in each other, and I was like, wow, they were all in the same room for majority, like 90% of the episode. It was awesome. Let's see. There was a conversation when Harry asked for Jordan's help breaking into the faction, and Harry said, I am not a warlock, which is him saying they exist. He said it. Didn't say where they were, though. Like, where are they? Like, maybe we need them to help us fight. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. It's pronounced O-N-E. O-N-E. Joining you all the way from Gallon. Oh, you're Irish, cool. I don't know if you, since you probably just got in here, I am half Scottish. My mother is from Aberdeenshire, from Kincardshire, and a town called Cove Bay. I have citizenship there and in America, so I can live in Scotland or I can live in the States, but I live in the States with my spouse. But yeah, it's so awesome. Welcome. I love it. I love Ireland. Is beautiful. I want to go to Dublin so bad. I really do. Dublin is gorgeous. These pictures. The adopted child named was Henry Mitchell Jr. His mother died via Darklighter arrow, and Paige orbed him out of her womb and his violet. That's what happened. Thank you. I remember. I knew it was something like that. Yeah. And they ended up adopting the child. Yeah. Abigail is the Alexis Carrington of Charmed. Oh. I can kind of see that. Let's see. Swan is to season 2 what Angela was the season 1. Yeah, a goner. I'm starting to see a really sick thing. I'm not trying to make this a race card or anything. And I'm not trying to say it because I'm married to an Asian, and according to my 23andMe, I am 8% Asian. I really feel like all of the Asian characters in this get a really crap deal because, I mean, Nico, gone. Angela, gone. Kat, gone. So I'm like, anybody that comes in that's Asian, is just gone. That's why I'm so worried for Swan right now. She's Asian, so she may not last long. Come on, Charm. We need to like our Asian counterparts. We have to break the stereotype of this horrible, 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 horrible perception we have about Asian people, especially in our COVID crisis, thanks to somebody who I will not talk about. All right, let's see here. Mel is epic, cares the most, remembers spells and potions. Yep, she also suffers the most in love loss and misconnections, a time who always seems slightly out of pace with the world around her. That is a beautiful way of phrasing that. I love that. That is true and very ironic. Yeah, Mel, her timing's always off. For a time witch, that's pretty sad. Yeah, maybe that's her personal gain struggle. She can control time and control space, but can't control her life or any of the events in her own life. So yeah, that's pretty deep though. I like it. We don't know Marisol's maiden name. It was just Ray's surname, which tells us nothing. Like, at least with the Hallowells, they took their mother's name and they got divorced. And honestly, I don't remember their father's name. I'll have to go and look that up. But yeah, they didn't take his last name. They kept with their grandmother/mother's last name. I think even when they were married, they were always Hallowell. So, definitely different. I do like Abigail, but my issue with her is just that the more screen time her and Harry have, the less we get of the actual sisters. Yes, it's true. Yeah, I blame the writers, though. They actually should have written the sisters as having an actual bond and giving a crap about each other, and not having the only connection that Mel and Macy have is Maggie, basically. They both love Maggie. They both live in the same house, or all three live in the same house, and they're all three going through the same crap right now. But that's literally the only connection that they have had except for a couple of episodes this entire season, which is stupid, but it's fine. I digress. Angela Wu, yeah, I like Angela. And Angela Wu, isn't she the girl who is in half of it and who plays George and Nancy Drew? Isn't that the same actress? I can't remember her face, but now I want to know. If you remember, please let me know. Abigail was one of the best additions they put on Charmed. I agree. I would buy Mel and Abigail more if it didn't feel like every character that is introduced is just a love interest from one of the sisters. I agree. But at least Abigail has more of a backstory now. She's gone through a lot with them. So maybe this is... I'm seeing her as now this season's Cole. So, yeah. I'm hoping that she doesn't have the same fate as Cole. But I'm seeing that may be what she is. How long do you think that the reboot will last? Huh. That's a good one. I don't know. The CW, if it's an Arrowverse show, you pretty much have a guaranteed run for the most part. Arrow did not get canceled. He just decided to leave. You can't have Arrow without Arrow or without Oliver Queen. So I don't know, because Charmed is its own entity. So like it just really depends. I guess it goes by ratings. And really, we're learning now that the ratings aren't even a deterrent for what gets renewed and not. But I will say, in terms of CW, they cancel less shows than Fox and some of the other ones. So they may get like maybe 4, maybe 5 seasons. Maybe longer, but I'm saying maybe 4 or 5 seasons. Which I would like, especially if the writing got better. I would like them to go to maybe 10 seasons. I think it would be cool to see how they evolve over 10 years. But again, it depends. The actors have to want to do it. The networks have to want to keep going. The plot needs to be good. The writing needs to be good. And the ratings need to come into play. So I don't know. But if I had my way, I would love a 10-season run. I think that would be cool. That gives them time to work all their crap out. If their writing sucks, then they probably should only have 4 or 5. So... there you go. Let's see here. Okay, Abigail made the season tolerable. Yes, she did. I don't know why she wasn't in the finale, but then again, that wasn't actually the finale. That was episode 19. I think they had, 2 episodes? They were going to do 21 to 22 or something like that. So who knows? She probably was meant to be in the finale. Let's see. Nicholas. I can't wait till season 3. What is with Harry asking Maggie to erase his feelings? Oh, he's just stupid. Yeah, he's just dumb. And if Maggie does it, then Maggie's dumb too. So that's where we're going. That's the best interpretation of this plot and storyline. Stupid. Harry, when they took the darkness out, they also took his common sense. It also went into Jimmy. So they need to put it back. That's basically that needs to be part of the struggle. How do we get our white lighters' common sense back this season? Let's see here. I love Abigail. She honestly bent backwards to help them. The fact that all of her actions to help them are not seen as some kind of redemption for her character is a crying shame. Amen. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Magical transformations for the sisters in season 3. Yes, they will be Sailor Moon. Or my favorite, Sailor Neptune, and of course Sailor Uranus. But could you see that? Could you see them spinning around in the air as charmed ones with like little fukus on? Sailor fuku. Oh my gosh. Guys, don't put my mind there. Don't put my mind there. We just made Charmed an anime. But the thing about Henry Mitchell Jr. is by a mother. We never knew if she was a witch or magical descent, but we only know that Paige blinded the cryokinesis power that he displayed right before. Now, but I thought he got that ability because she did bind, but I thought she bound that in the comics because all the powers were reversed. So he ended up getting powers and then everybody else didn't. Like all the people that had magic, it went to the people that didn't have magic and vice versa. I thought that's what happened, but I mean, I could be off. I'll have to go back and revisit that. Let's see here. George and Abby are played by the same person. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so that was her. Cool. I like her actress. She's really cool. And definitely, she definitely, in half of it, her character was a lot different from George. A lot different. I loved it. And I know you meant Angela. It's fine. Spin-off of a past Charm ones. How long do you think Parker Kane is going to stay powerless, knowing that the entire demon world is after the Kane family? And is Harry ever going to drink the common sense cocktail? No, he's not. I mean, he hasn't done it in 80 years? How long has he been alive? He's not. He doesn't want to drink the common sense cocktail. He likes being delusional. How long do I think that Parker Kane is going to stay powerless? I just want to, he used a dagger, right? If Macy ends up getting her powers back, then we'll know that Parker's getting his. Because how do we know it's permanent? How do we know it did it that 100%? What if it just bound the power and you just need to unbind it? Maybe it didn't take it. I mean, yeah, we understand that Abigail was able to use the fireball. Like her fire, she didn't have the, I don't think she could create the fireball. She could take it, but then when she got Macy's power, she was able to use it. But then again, I don't know how true that is because it didn't seem like she could do that later either. I don't know. But if Abigail did take some of Macy's power for herself, that could have just been taking, like, cloning the power. We don't know that Macy's power is gone. We don't know any of that. In season 3, we may see that all that's retconned. Like I said, it really depends on the showrunners and writers, but I mean, I honestly don't think it's gone. I think it's just made, it just basically turned it off temporarily. Okay, and Abby, were you asking if there should be a spin-off of past Charm ones? Yes. That's what I think the movie should be on Netflix. Mel and Macy have been colleagues who were forced to work together since season 1 at Actual Sisters. I don't even think they were colleagues. They were like working in different departments. I guess that is kind of like a colleague. Or maybe they were like... it almost felt like they were travelers who were just staying at the same bed and breakfast or Airbnb. Are Harry and Jimmy merged now? No. I think they just trapped him again because that's what he likes. He likes being bound and trapped all the time. That's why he's angry. Who is your favorite character? Of the sisters, my favorite character is always going to be Mel in the reboot, and the OG show is going to be Prue in OG Charmed. Characters overall, I still like Mel, and if I had to pick a side character right now, it's Abigail. Abigail's my favorite outside of Mel. And of course, Swan. Swan's my third favorite because Swan, again, is the master of all evil. Yes. Yes, magical transformations are a must. And the theme songs of that would be an interesting thing, too. Every little, like, all the Sailor Moon characters or all the other magical girls always have their own little theme. That would be hilarious. That makes sense. Do you think Harry and Jimmy will merge or no? Would Harry ask Macy to do the merging because, well, his common sense is dumb, as you say? Exactly. No. No. He wanted it. He acted like he wanted it. Now he's just like, meh. No. Don't need it anymore. Because the plot hole demon got him. Madeline Mantott talked in Instagram Live about being surprised that they didn't explore Macy's attraction to Dark Harry more. Got the impression she feels they aren't delving deep enough with the character. Of course. I mean, because you can't come out and say, I really think the writing on the show sucks, but I get paid, so I still show up. Which is what they do. You know what I mean? They can't say that. But yeah, I got the impression that a lot of them felt that it was crap. And I agree. I mean, the whole Dark Harry and Macy thing kind of went out the window when Julian showed up. And then when she started showing more affection and attraction to Harry, it was like, nope. And she just made this decision, like, out of the blue. It really wasn't Dark Harry. I was just scared of my feelings. I actually like Harry. It was really Harry I was drawing. I'm like, that's completely 180 to what we, went through with you with the whole Dark Harry thing. But, again, the plot hole demon. But 3 to 4 episodes, they did a bit from what I remember. Okay. They can just do an unbinding spell to get Macy's powers back. Same thing for Parker. Yep. I agree. I don't think they realize it's bound, though. But, yeah, I think it's just turned off. Charm Season 3 will come back on Sunday at 9. Is it a good idea for you? Now, is that 9... Like, I'm on Central Standard Time. So, it's 9 Eastern. It'll be 8 my time, which... That's fine. That's standard for CW. It depends on the day, though. Is it coming back during the week? Is it coming on a Sunday? That kind of tells you where you are in the running of CW. If they throw you on a Sunday sometimes outside of Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow, because they're Arrowverse, so they kind of get saved. That's not a good thing when they put you on a Sunday, because that normally means you're going to be canceled. So I guess I need to see what day they come on. But yeah, if it's 8 o'clock my time, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if it's 9 and then Mountain Time, or it's like 10 o'clock my time, that's an issue. But I don't foresee that being a thing. How do you feel about Jordan? I don't mind Jordan. I think Jordan is, as I figured this out in the earlier live stream, I think Jordan is actually, honestly, Daryl. He is the counterpart for Daryl in this season. And so I'm okay with that. I don't know how I feel about Jordan and Maggie 100% being together, only because of the maturity differences, because he is so much more mature than she is. But yeah, good character, needs to have something more to do. If he's going to be part of the Charm Scooby Gang, needs to have his own story, his own problems, his own life outside of them. Not just be there just for their convenience. I wasn't sure if it happened right before or during the magical swap or Henry Jr., because from what I got, the scenarios situation, they woke up and he went full Elsa, Harry Sr. Yeah, I think that is with the magical swap. I think because, remember, Henry got abilities and so did Henry Jr., but then the sisters, they lost their powers, and I can't remember. I think Paige kept hers because she was charmed, but I can't remember. I have to go back and read. It's been a minute since I read those. McGonagall, are you saying McGonagall is Marisol's maiden name? Because that would be awesome. It would be awesome if her maiden name was Dumbledore. At this point, only one of the only reasons I am watching the reboot is Swan. So Swan, please do not leave. If I could high five you right now, Anna, I would. That's so true. I'm watching Charm now, season 1 on Netflix. I'm sure. Yeah, I do that every so often, especially when I want to go back and see a better season. Our Cersei. Magical transform. I think magical transformations in Charmed. I mean, why not at this point? They've done everything else. I'm happy to hear the actors know the writing is off. Yeah, I think that's happening in a lot of shows across the board. Trust me, a lot of them know the writing is yeah. But you really can't say it. You sign an NDA, you sign a contract. You can't be like, this show I'm on sucks major, but yeah, I still get paid. Would they want to do an unbinding spell? I don't think Macy would. And the only reason I foresee Parker wanting to is if he can't fight off these demons that are coming for him anymore, because they will come for him. But yeah, outside of that, there would be no reason to do an unbinding spell. I was thinking Jordan being Daryl-esque with elements of Coop. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I like the theory it's said earlier, or it might have been in the other live stream, that he'd be a good Cupid. He would. The irony of him being a combat medic and Leo being a combat medic, since he can't become a White Lighter, since the elders technically besides Celeste are dead, if he died, maybe that would be how he came back, as Cupid. It'd be cool. I'm glad that I wasn't the first one who thought that Jordan was a Daryl. Question, do you think he would gain powers from being around the Charmed Ones? Not gain powers. We know the ring protected him. And apparently triggered the Black Amber because, the ring. But I think the ring came from the coven that his grandfather, one of the ones he burned to death. But I think the only way he would get powers if he didn't already have something in his family like that, which would be odd considering, his grandfather hunted witches. I think would be if he were to die or something, or he got maybe something magical attacked him and he was left with abilities of that magical creature or something like that. But I like the Cupid angle. I think the Cupid angle would be cool. I think that Jordan is more like Gavin. He's what Gavin would have evolved to be had he not been killed off. Yeah, I can see that. No, I was saying that Harry Sr. displayed powers similar to McGonagall or Cersei. Thank you for clearing that up, because I kind of like the idea of Marisol being McGonagall. Marisol McGonagall would be cool. Paige always kept her powers when their powers were stolen because she was half White Lighter. She kept her White Lighter abilities, but she didn't keep her witch casting ability, which was interesting. I think it was a little weirder than that. She couldn't call for things because that was mixed with her telekinesis, but she could teleport. So she kept her teleportation, maybe healing, but not the telekinesis hybrid witch or white lighter ability. Do you think it's on Sunday? Better not be on Sunday. Ugh. I was watching the season 1 ep 1 of Charm, and Harry is so different then and now, and I do not think he changed for the better. I agree. I can't argue with that. Life of a Single Mother. Navlon, I'm going to say this. Nyleave, Iram, I'm hoping Jordan would end up being a Cupid. Yeah, I think Jordan being a Cupid would be the natural conclusion for his character. But I mean, honestly, doesn't he have to die though? I think that's what was Coop human? Does anyone remember if he talked about him having a human life before becoming a Cupid, or was he just a Cupid? That would be interesting. Let's see. Thank you. Telekinetic orbing. Thank you. Do you think that the deed from the night before season 219, do you think they did the deed from the night before of 218? You mean, do you think Macy and Harry did the deed? Oh, yes. Absolutely. No, there's no misinterpreting that many times. It is on Sunday. Oh, why CW? Oh, I hate when they do that crap. The only successful shows that I have seen that have survived that have been Arrowverse shows. I know we had Legends of Tomorrow. I know we had Supergirl on Sunday, and I knew we had Black Lightning for a little while on Sunday. And all three of those have, even though technically Black Lightning at the time was not an Arrowverse show, it is a superhero themed show, and those shows do not get canceled by the CW. They don't. They have to be very, look at it this way. Batwoman, Ruby Rose is gone. They don't even have a lead for Batwoman. They have no Batwoman, and it's still not canceled. So, unless you are in that protection zone of the superhero realm, guys, if you're on Sunday, you are expendable. I really hope they perform well and they don't get canceled. I really hate that they're on a Sunday though. I do hate that. That's not good. Like I said, common sense cocktail for everyone. Thank you. That's Coop was human and he became a Cupid. Thank you. Okay, so then I could see that. But did he have to die or was he just awarded it? Did they just come and say, you're a great human being? Be a Cupid. I really would like to know that. Cupid was originally a baby born from dead. Yeah, I do remember the lore in that. There's also another one in Norse mythology, a Cupid, not called a Cupid, but another being in Norse mythology that was born from a human heart, which I thought was interesting. So the Cupid born from a human heart with a capacity to learn the capacity of love for mankind. I thought that was interesting. Really pretty, too. Think about it. Some of it sounds gross, but a very pretty lore. It's been a while since I watched OG Charmed. What do Cupids do again? They basically help you find love. I mean, he was sent in OG Charmed to help Phoebe find love, but actually he was sent down to be her love. And if I remember correctly, it was either Wyatt or Chris that said that their love would not face any of the challenges that Piper and Leo's did. It would be a love that was basically as a reward for all of the good that the Charmed ones did, which is basically an arranged marriage by the elders. Because the elders send the Cupid down. This is what I thought when I saw that they moved to Sunday. I have to rewatch that from the OG show to remember. Yeah. Do you think they do a Legacy crossover or Charm crossover? That would be cool. I don't talk about Legacies. I need to, actually, because that's a really good show. But could you imagine Hope? Hope with Abigail and Mel. Those three alone would be funny. And then her and Maggie arguing, or her and Macy having to team up. That would be hilarious. Any of them would be hilarious, but Hope just stands out to me. That would be a really fun crossover. Now, if they didn't do a full crossover, bringing Hope from Legacies into the Charm universe would be hilarious. But then I kind of feel like Legacies does more of a Monster of a Week thing than Charm does at this point. So there'd be no reason. Let's see. Coop was stillborn in the comics, but he grew up as a Cupid from a cherub. Oh, okay. Through the head Cupid, but was made into a human to his dislike of the chaos of the Charm life. Okay. And then the original Charm, he never met his family. Okay. But then would their kids be related? Because Cupid would he still have the same DNA in the OG Charmed? Wouldn't they have grandparents? I don't know. I'm just throwing out theories now. Yeah, Cupids are basically a better version of a white lighter, sans healing ability, but limited projection. Yeah, and empathetic. Absolutely. I think Jordan would become a white lighter if Celeste doesn't die. Yeah. I mean, I think he'd prefer being a white lighter to being a Cupid, because Cupids seem to have a singular, focus. They help you find love, and yeah, they heal. But Jordan seems more of the protector kind, because he was also, a combat medic. He was a soldier. So I could see him wanting to be more of like Harry, or Harry's replacement. I think that would be cool. But I don't know. Hello, do you think that Macy will get her demon powers back? If she unbinds it, I don't think they're gone. I just think they're asleep. They're basically in limbo inside of her. And if she really wanted them back, they would come back. Because she desperately doesn't want them, they're not going to be active. Judging the CW, I think that the Macy Harry child could become too similar to Hope, and I don't want that. Kind of want Hope to be her own unique tribrid. Yeah. Vampire, witch, and werewolf. She's a triple threat. But it would be cool if they did do that and the kid was like 3 and they had Hope come do like a talk about what it's like to be different. That would be a cool episode. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like if they ever did a crossover with that, and honestly, guys, they missed the mark with Supernatural. If Supernatural hadn't left or ended, could you see a Charm Supernatural crossover? That would be very cool. That would be extremely cool. I would love to see. I would love to see how the brothers would handle meeting the Charm ones. Let's see. Yeah, I like Macy's demon powers too. Season 1 was on Sunday before the move to Friday for season 2, so it got back to its original time, replacing Supergirl. Yeah, that's really weird though. They don't normally do that. Didn't Julian's people have Celeste? How do you think they got her? No, they didn't get Celeste. Remember, they were trying to find her. They kidnapped her and put her in the trunk of a car, but the Charman saved her before they were able to take her. And now we know that, they knew about her because they knew about the castle and they knew about it from Darklighter Harry, so a Darklighter Jimmy. So no, but they didn't physically have Celeste, so they still don't have. I don't think they know everything about the charmed ones and They know they are charmed ones. But they don't know everything. They know what Jimmy told them. And since Harry doesn't know everything about the elders and everything about that world either, they are very limited in what they know. Because, Harry knows what Jimmy knows what Harry knows. So that is the one thing I think that saves them from everything that the magical scientists are doing, is that the only person that they've been able to get information about the charmed ones is from Jimmy. So we'll see. Let's see here. And Phoebe did see his Coop cousin and nephew who looks just like him on his wedding day. That the name was Cooper Smith. Okay, that's cool. Julian, I don't know how I feel about him, but it's more like, yeah. I've been saying that. I love the actor, though. I love the actor. He's great. Julian just hasn't had a lot of character development. He went from being like a billionaire who's trying to save the world as a scientist to being infatuated with Macy to being basically the head of the magical scientists. And so he hasn't really had, outside of that, him talking about his trauma in his childhood, there's no other character development at all. So he is another throwaway character by the end of season 3. He just is. I don't even think that he is the ultimate evil. Like I said, it's Rosemary. So if it's not Rosemary, it's dumb writing. Just what it is. Okay, I think you're right. Jordan would be a great white lighter. Leo, what's helping people before he died? Yep, he was actually, I want to say, and I remember this. I remember them in the middle of a battle. They're in a tent, and he's with 2 other soldiers or 3 other soldiers. I can't remember. And he didn't leave them, and the tent blew up with them in it, and that's how he died, and that's when he became a white lighter. And that the ghosts were jealous that he got to have basically an extended life or another life, and they didn't, and so they were killing people. And so, yeah, but I remember he was a combat medic. Just like if you look at Harry, I think they said that he was an actor, but he went into service. So he was also a soldier for the British military. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure he died in a war, but I don't know if they ever told us how he died, like what happened. They may have. I have to go back and watch season 1 again. They may have. I enjoy watching season 1. The energy is totally different from season 2. But, yeah, I have to go back and see if they do that. But I know all 3 of them were soldiers. So Jordan would, fit right in as a white lighter. Let's see. Hayseed child came to the world. She or he be conceived on 2/18 and 2/19. That got me thinking. If she's pregnant, yeah, it'll get me thinking too. Like, I'm being real. Piper, Prue, and Dean would have gotten along great. Yep. Same with Phoebe and Sam and Paige. I think, yeah. Castiel, definitely. I definitely think that they would have gotten along well. I think it would have been a hilarious episode. It would have been funny. Let's see. And I like that Macy was half witch and half something else like Paige was, but then she grew up her powers, and now it's like she lost that part of herself. Yeah. I mean, again, the difference is Paige actually is half, white lighter, half witch, whereas technically Macy's supposed to be half human, half witch, but she has demon blood, because the demon blood with the necromancer making that deal that Marisol made is what saved her and brought her back to life. So she's not technically a half demon. She has demon blood. But I'm just starting to wonder, like, how that works. I mean, does it merge to your DNA making you half demon? I mean, I really want to know. I want to know how demon blood works. I want them to explain. Is it like a zombie? When you get, bit by a zombie, you turn into a zombie because your DNA gets morphed? Or is it like X-Men, where you have a regular strand of DNA that morphs, and that's basically the X gene that makes you into a mutant? What is it? Like, is she morphed? Is she actually, by all accounts, half demon? Because when she went to the club at the beginning of season 2 and they took her blood and they scanned it, it registered her as being demon because she had demon blood. So I just want to know. I want to know what happens when you have demon blood and it brings you back. Are you essentially half demon? Okay, Leo was an army medic. Yeah, I remember that I was pretty sure he was an army medic. So it's basically what Jordan was. He was a medic in the army, in the battalion, and then that's exactly what Leo, was. So yeah, really good fit for Jordan being a white lighter. And I'm hoping to see demons like Barbas. Barbas is cool. Barbas was probably the best villain they had. I don't know if we're ever going to get someone on that level. Zanku was cool. The Seer kind of got on my nerves. I like the actress, but she kind of got on my nerves. The Source, especially being that the Source was mostly cool. Demon organizations like the Triad. I mean, you kind of did get the Triad. That's what I think. I mean, I want to say they even name dropped the Triad in season 2 in the club, like a lot of the Triad families. They did. I thought they mentioned the Triad. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought they did. I'll have to go back and look that up because I'm pretty sure they didn't call them the Triad. They called them something else, but I think it's the equivalent of the Triad. But I'm pretty sure that's what that's supposed to be. Do you think they can transfer the command center somehow? Also, what happened to place that was underneath their house? Exactly. I talked about that in the other stream. I have no idea. The little like the nook area with the bookcase that opened up. It's like they forgot. Like their weapons are probably in there. I don't know. The writers decided that also had to be touched by the plot hole demon. They need to explore their house more. Let's see. I do think though the command center. So like, I guess that's more of a Celeste question, because didn't she help build the command center? Because you would think if a command center was able to create marbles to open portals in time to get you anywhere in the world, that it would be able to displace itself like the house. Like, why can't the command center teleport into the place in their house that's underneath their house? That would be cool. Then all they have to do is just walk through the little book nook and walk down the stairs. I mean, I'm just saying, why not? That would be the perfect relocation place in the house that likes to follow them wherever they go. It's a magical house, a magical command center inside. Completely awesome. Like, you know how in OG Charm they had the attic and they would always run to the attic where the book was? Well, they have this space that they could just run to besides their attic now. They could literally have, or heck, if you want to be old school, put the command center in the attic. I mean, whatever. Like, see, it's not going to happen, guys. It's called plot hole demons for a reason. Let's see here. Okay, you said Macy has demon blood that has infected her like a virus. Yeah, I could see that. I kind of feel like, though, I just really need them to just specify, is she more half demon than not? Or is she more half witch, half human than not? I just need them to specify, just really break this down for us. Let us know the biology of the situation so we can just, because I mean, it is really confusing for fans, because most fans are going to come out thinking, yeah, she's definitely half demon, you know, and then others will be like, no, it's just the demon blood. We want a 100% canon answer on that question. Oh, I think I skipped something. We need more random demon monster encounters. Yes, that pop up and need to be. Exactly. I love that formula. No, remember in season 1 how Parker's mom tried to split Macy's blood to get rid of her DNA? She couldn't, but was able to with Parker because he's half. Okay. But how does it, I just want to know how it affects her though. Like, I know the DNA is different, I guess, and it doesn't morph it, but what does it do? Because the blood in her gives her powers. You would think that the demon blood would be so small, you know, in her biochemistry that she wouldn't have any significant demonic anything, but it gave her fire casting ability. So, I mean, it has to be in there and doing something to her. I guess I just want to know more about the biology. I know the tribe was a demon bloodline. Yeah. Okay. Are we ever going to see the sisters go back in time to learn the consequences of magic on Halloween? Where would they go back to? That's the problem. With the Charm OG, they had a setup. They could go back to their grandmother or their previous family that always lived in this house. That's not the case with these girls. We don't even know how long Marisol lived in that house. I'm hoping they own that house, because that house pretty much, I know people think it blew up, so I guess there's that. But I mean, if they didn't own it and they were still paying the mortgage, then they have a stolen house. It just happens to be magical. So, I mean, where would they go? Like, it would be awesome, but where would they go? Maybe not half demon, but essence. Okay, essence of demon. Let's see here. That's not one thing in season 2 as interesting as the demon blood store or Macy's third eye, yeah, or Maggie's glowing vajayjay. That bully vajayjay. I forgot about that. Yeah, shine a light. That was horrible. That was fun. It was funny, but that was horrible. Now I'm going to be saying that all day, shining vajayjay. Thank you for that, Mr. Hootie Dan, or Dean. What happened to the space under the house? Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. We don't know. It got affected by the plot hole demon. It should, but I think it should contain the command center. It should just go right into that space. The blood in her was introduced in her when she was resurrected. Okay, yeah. I just want to know, like, I really, since she's a scientist, she should run some tests on herself just to know the extent of her demonic stuff. You mean Vortex Veribus? When the sisters magically boosted their powers to new levels and moved the safe space equipment to that. Yes, absolutely. It's like when the demon that bled into Sam's mouth from Supernatural gave him powers. Huh. Okay. But hers is like really permanent. Like, you know, I don't know. I really wish we had more like biology there. I really do. But, Nicholas Kelly, you are definitely an encyclopedia of Charmed. I'll give you that. I know the writers were talking about a time jump from season 3. How would you feel about that? I will kill. No, you are going to fix the crap that you did in season 2. Because time jumping to season 3, that would be stupid to me. It would just be dumb to me to have them just be like, by the way, we did all this stuff. And it resolved all this stuff. And you'll get a few flashbacks. And here are the repercussions of that. But no. No. I think I will write my first ever what the hell mail to that letter to that studio. Like, I've never written to anybody about anything. But I think it will start with that. I wish that Mel and Macy got stuck somewhere and had to bond. Yeah. It's always like Macy with Maggie or Mel and Maggie, but never, Macy and Mel. Because, I mean, they really need to work out their stuff. Because, again, Macy went after Mel hardcore in season 1. I mean, just go back and watch how many times she went after Mel. And I know when she attacked her and when they were trying to take the needle away for the third eye, and she, like, slammed Mel into the wall, and she was coming towards her, and she's like, Mel was like, get away from me. And she's like, I love you. Well, no, she broke the needle in half, and then Mel was like, I love you. And then Macy's like, I love you too. And I'm like, that's probably the only time I've ever heard them say that. And for that one little moment, it looked like they were bonded. But then you got to remember that Maggie was in between them. She was like, until Maggie was like Macy, she didn't even snap out of it. So in retrospect, it was really Maggie's voice that got through to Macy, not her slamming her sister into a wall. And then when she took on the Source's power, again, the first thing she did was basically recreate a world where her and Maggie were the sisters that were living with Marisol, and Mel wasn't even a sister. She didn't even leave her as a sister. She put her somewhere in another state, way away, driving a cab. That is messed up. So they have issues. They have issues. Let's see. The plot hole demon, that's a good one. Thank you. That is what I use when things don't make sense. It started with my love for Doctor Who. Whenever something would happen, I'm like, it's the plot hole demon. And then for anyone who doesn't know, I am a Doctor Who. I'm a Whovian, but my Doctor Who, since I had a British mother, is Tom Baker. That is my Doctor Who. Will always be my Doctor Who. I'm not saying I don't love the other ones. I'm just saying it's my doctor. Let's see. Why didn't Macy become zombified like the others in the episode with the Necromancer in season 1? Because she's a charm one. That is, when you are a charm one, you have main character insurance. So, of course, you're not going to be zombified. No. The charm powers protect. And that's what I'm going with, because there's no other explanation. I'm talking about Phoebe. Maggie made the comment about not liking to dress up as a witch, and Prue makes the comment, I'm so impressed you can make a protest statement and show cleavage all at the... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, there's also the episode where... well, there's many episodes where they were protesting Piper not being able to breastfeed and her taking all of her clothes off, and, Phoebe and riding through the town butt naked with a long blonde wig on. Charmed. Macy and Mel should have been the two that got stuck in the marble. Yep. Well, I'm Macy's worst nightmare. We saw Maggie happy to see her, and Mel was kind of like, so yeah, they need some Mel and Macy time. They really do. That's on my season 3 wish list. I want the sisters to have a sisterhood all together, but I want Mel and I want Macy to bond, and I mean really bond, because they made a tiny bit of progress in season 1. They had some conversations that kind of led you to believe that they were accepting, like the one when they were sitting at the table, and I think it's right after Nico and her not really broke up. She couldn't tell him, like, Nico, who they were, and she was like, you're so strong, Macy, I'm so envious to her. And then, of course, and you're smart, I'm jealous. And then Macy's like, what are you talking about? You're one of the strongest people I ever met. And they had this really cute, like, I want to be sister moment. And then it kind of like got, like, for some reason, I don't know why, rebooted completely, especially in season 2. It was almost like, whatever, we're roommates. It's just really weird. It's very, very weird. If they time jump, that would be the charms thing, rebooting each season. I will only accept a time jump if they keep some of the characters they got in season 2, but then redid all this crap and we ended up back in their hometown. But then also, we added on the fact that the elders were still dead, and they still had the command center where they were able to travel to other places. But their home base and all the people that they interacted with in season 1 were all still in their lives in some capacity, and they had a lot of drama to work out. That would be awesome, because these girls should not be in Seattle. They should not be in Seattle. Also, do you think Macy has some new magical residue left over from being the source? That would be cool. One of them was reality bending, though. That would be neat. I don't know. I don't know how powerful that spell was in the season finale of season 1. Like, they did split it into the locket and break it, right? And each took a piece somewhere different and then erased their memory. They don't even remember having this. I mean, I think if they remembered having it when they lost their power, they probably been like, how do we go get that source power back? But I think Harry's the only one that knows where they are, which is... Actually, you know what? That brings up a new question. If Harry was the only one that knew where all 3 parts of the source's powers were split, then that means Jimmy would know that, right? If the writers remember that or know of that, then that's a problem in season 3, if they remember that. Just goes to show that first impression you make sticks with you, especially with Macy. Oh, well, I'm sorry for Mel. I feel sorry for Mel too. Bye, Abby. Thank you. I know it's 2:30. I'm gonna be wrapping up soon too. We've been at it for a while. We're over 3 hours. Wow. But thank you for talking, and I will have some new videos out soon, guys. I promise. I also have to find other new shows to put out. I need to start reviewing Killing Eve. I'm caught up. I saw season 1. I hadn't seen season 2, even though I really like the show, so I'm watching season 2. That's why I can't do season 3 yet, but I probably will do a season 3 overview once I'm done with season 2 and watch season 3. So Killing Eve may be coming. Let's see here. The most bonding I've seen with them in season 1 is Mel and Macy. Maybe Julian was not right for her. Yeah. Yeah. I think Macy needs to learn to love herself before she loves other people. And Abigail would too. That's all she needs. I'm telling you, I am so pro Mel and Abigail. I want them to be a thing. Like, not immediately, but work towards it in season 3. I think that would be very cool. Jimmy, candidate for new source. Yeah. I mean, the only problem with that, though, if he became the source, wouldn't that mean that Harry would also be the source since they're connected? I would have to look into that because they seem to be very, very connected. So I kind of feel like they would both, it would be really hard for Harry to not be attracted to that since the other half of himself was the source. Because no matter how we look at it, Jimmy is the other half of Harry. So, okay, that makes no sense because the Charman's mind cannot be wiped clean. Chastity tried it on Macy and it didn't work. Well, but we don't know if that was the charm part of her or the demon part of her. Because the demon part of her was the one that was warning her, not the charm part. So we don't know. I mean, charmed ones are still humans. They're witches, but they're still human beings. But a demon, like, it's a different, like, for me anyway, I feel like their body chemistry is different. And, you know, everything about them is different. So more than likely, she could be wiped if she was a charmed one. Just charmed or just a witch. Let's see. Abigail knows where the source pieces are because she was in Harry's head. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her, yeah. Hey, so question, what does that leave Julian with Macy? Because, well, we know that Hasty is on. I'm also love Abby and Mel together. How would that work if Jimmy becomes the source? It wouldn't. Like, if Jimmy became the source, it's just, to me, another Hasty obstacle because, quite frankly, they need to create them. They don't have any. They have one elder, Celeste, telling him, no, don't be with the charm one. They had to put that in there because there's nobody else that can stop them from being together. They create their own obstacles. They have been creating their own obstacles all season 2. So if Jimmy became the source, I mean, it's just Harry is also connected to the source. Another problem. So I hope they don't do that because it would be innately stupid. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I kind of feel like I said, season 3 has potential to fix all of the crap that they didn't get right in season 2. I just don't know if they're going to do it. And honestly, there's a big potential for it to get worse. And so, but I'm trying to hold on to the hope that it will be better. I really hope. It would be nice if we got new writers, or at least constant writers that were big on continuity. I think that would be cool. I need them to wrap up everything they did in season 2, because if they don't, I mean, for me, I love the characters, I do, but there's no point in me watching something if it's just going to be continuously all over the place. That would be a problem. So I really need them to wrap that up. I also really want them to go forward. I need to know what's next for the charm ones outside of this human magical, crap that we've got going on. I also need to know if this destiny that we keep hearing about with one of the sisters dying, is that something that's actually, if that's the next thing they need to try and work against. I mean, we need to know where the story is going, because right now, we don't know. We don't have a real direction, and that is a problem. Okay, if Jimmy becomes the source, does this mean that Harry and Jimmy would end up being the angel and demon that's in eternal conflict with each other, like in OG Charm? Probably. Yep. That's exactly what that would mean. Like I said, it would be a cool subplot. I guess I'm just really tired of them messing with Harry. Harry does not need to be the focus of Charmed. He just needs to be, he could be an important asset to Charm, but he doesn't need to be Harry centric all the time. And so like, I really need them to focus more on the 3 girls, because their lives can be very, diverse and very, interesting if they were in the forefront of their own show. Let's see. But yeah, I kind of feel like we've kind of rewritten season 3. I really do. I feel like we've rewritten season 3. We've got some good angles here. We got to get Robert Soko milled off to Charm to be a writer full time. And I kind of feel like everything else is just kind of falling into place at this point in terms of how we think the show should be. The question is, do the writers agree with us? Or are we going to be very unhappy on Sunday nights? That is the main question. But I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then I'm going to eat, because it's 5:39 my time and we've had a good almost 3.5 hour run, and my internet so far has been good. Let's see. Motherland was straightforward storytelling. Wish Charm was more like that. They add too much before they resolve any other plots. This is true. Motherland did have a few things that kind of like, were on the side, but by the finale, it did seem like a majority of the questions that you had were answered. And the questions that you still have for season 2 were the ones you expected to have. So like things about Anacostia, things about, Alder, I still think she's a little shady. Basically what happened with the spree. I'm not going to talk about it if you haven't seen it, because I'm worried I'm spoiling something, but everything that you had a question about for the most part, it was answered, and it was answered in like a 45-minute episode, or 42 minutes if you count commercials. So it can be done. They managed to do it an entire season in 10 episodes that Charm can't do in 22. So, I mean, it can be done. It's just, you need to have a focus. You need to have a story. You need to have an outline. You need to have continuity. And that is something that they don't have in Charmed Reboot. So, are they, let's see, are they going to do it and do the writers watch YouTube videos? They should. I'm sure a lot of us are saying the same thing. They should definitely watch YouTube videos and reviews, but they probably don't, because they feel like we're just whining, which we are. The only memories Jimmy and Harry share are James' memories, not currently one's each other. That's why Jimmy couldn't find them. They only shared emotions to Macy. Yeah, that's true, Robert, but I thought that if one died, the other died. So if Harry or Jimmy becomes the source, then by side effect, it will affect, Harry in some way, because that still is him split. So even if they don't have the same hive mind, they have the same fate, which is why they couldn't kill Harry or Jimmy without killing Harry. So I would love to know how that would be. Or do they even read fan fictions? I know that a lot of TV series and movies should probably watch or read fanfics. Can we have some magical transformations here for season 3? That's one of the elements I missed in this reboot. I'm telling you, man, if you want them to be Sailor Moon, Wedding Peach, Precure, yeah, you think I don't know about that stuff, don't you? You need to reach out and be like, we need this more animated. Can we have some magical girl transformations here? Have their own little, emo theme songs and spin around in little cute, if not sailor fukus or uniforms and cute little, appropriate superhero costumes. That would be kind of neat. Where I'd love to see this adaptation version of Nina Hogan, the old ones, and Raven, because they were seriously a real problem for the Charm ones. Yes, they were. We might actually. You never know. That's something that's probably in the pipeline. They seem to like to adapt OG concepts. They just make them a lot different. So, I mean, you never know. They might. I mean, look at Phoebe. Phoebe majored in psychology, and that's what Maggie was getting into, was psychology. So they do take something, and they do take some of the concepts and some of the things we're used to in OG, and they do introduce them into the reboot. But they just either die off or something drastic happens. Like, they both had elders, but in Charm Reboot, the elders were all wiped out. And that never happened in OG Charmed. So, yeah. I mean. And this is my last one. I think Mel turned into a fly once. Yes, she did. And she talked to herself. And through the power of self-love and understanding of love for her sisters, she was able to become human again. Guys, I don't know. I don't know. I have been enjoying this. My stomach is growling. I don't know if you're hearing this on my microphone, but it's like 5:43, so I'm going to go eat or make dinner, probably feed the rest of my family. I'm sure my daughter's not happy right now, and my dog. But I love talking to you guys. You guys are awesome. Keep posting your questions. If not in live chat, put them in the comments, and then I will get to them. I love our conversations, because this is basically how I come up with a lot of my theories. If I don't think of them my own, then I get inspired by what you say. So a lot of times, especially when the episodes are airing, a lot of things that you will say to me will end up in my review, and I always give credit. So I will do that. But yeah, so I'll be doing more videos. If you guys are into Amazon Prime's Upload, I just saw that. I loved it. I have a Who Tried to Kill Nathan Brown video coming up, so be on the lookout, because that show is crazy. And also, any questions you have about Charmed, Motherland, or anything else that I review, or things you think I should review, please leave me a comment below and I will check it out. I can't promise I will do them all, because, I'm trying to get my schedule in order, but I will give it a try. And that is TV shows, movies. I have Hulu Prime. I have Netflix. Also, if you're into comic books or any movies that you want me to look at, or anime or manga, or even Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Tokusatsu, any of that stuff, even Garo, I watch all of this stuff, because I obviously have a life, but it doesn't seem so. But yeah. So just do that. Leave a comment below. And guys, have a very good night. If it's night for you, have a good afternoon. If it's afternoon, if it's morning, good morning. And thank you for chilling with me and being in the stream. Until next time, guys. Bye. Have a good time.